Photos from the pit.
Documented musical stories.
Thrashed in the crowd.
And rage from the back.
We are Sound Sisters! Welcome to another episode of the Sound Sister Podcast. I'm your host, Drea Doll. I'm here with my lovely ladies. Say hello, ladies.
Hey, it's Angela Rose Red.
Gabby Chaos.
Now, on this episode, we're going to be talking to Myra Gallarza, drummer of Bad Cop, Bad Cop.
Woo woo! Meow meow.
Yeah.
Meow meow.
We're going to be talking to Myra about their new album they're working on in the studio, what's going to be happening with that, if they're touring, where we're going to see them, and just letting you guys know, on August 1st at the Rebel Lounge, the Venomous Pinks are going to be playing with Bad Cop, Bad Cop.
What?
So you guys should make it out there. I'm just saying.
Killer flyer.
Dude, it wasn't it?
Yeah.
Did Jenny do that one?
Jenny did not do it.
Oh,
Do you have
okay.
the name?
Yes, I do, because I messaged Jenny about it today.
'Cause it's got
Okay.
a lot of her art in it.
Yeah, that's what I
Well-
thought, because it was based on like all the cover art, like avatars.
Right.
This was literally my message to her. Did you do the artwork on this beautiful fucking flyer? And but the artist is Jeremy Brunel, illustrator.
Okay.
So Jeremy Brunel. Forget that weird attempt at pronouncing his name a second ago. Jeremy Brunel. So yeah, just go and follow his shit on Instagram, because there's all kinds of fucking magic on here.
Yeah, that tour is going to be with Pity Party and Dog Party, and I told the girls, I was like, we're going to be changing our name to Pink Party just for that show.
Yeah.
I dig it.
I dig
Yeah.
it.
Rumor on the mill is I might be playing a song with Bad Cop that night.
What? I didn't even know this, and I'm like,
this is just developed.
I'm
Just
like,
developed.
what the hell, man? I thought we were.
Newsflash.
Yeah, isn't she your musical wife?
I thought I was like your left brain.
Yeah.
Maybe
Maybe you didn't listen to the psychic vibes.
Maybe
that
I
she
didn't
was-
read the message. I don't know. They just. I don't know.
I didn't. No, this was like earlier today, and I kind of put it out to Jenny. I was like, hey.
It was like between you drive from work to here.
That's fucking rad.
That's cool.
She was like, fuck yeah, you should play a song with us. I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, cool. Like, I'm down if you guys are down. So,
Yeah.
Bad Cop, let me know.
I
Fuck
do.
yeah.
I do love like hearing Bad Cop at Rebel Lounge. It's a lot of fun.
Dude, the sound there
Yeah.
is
It's
great.
killer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're amazing there
Yeah. It'll be a good show. I can't wait.
for sure.
All right, so let's do around the table, guys. Let's catch up a little bit. Angela, what's going on with you?
Just just taking some photos, writing, just chilling. But today I was working on my second, wait for it, album review for New Noise.
Woo!
Oh, woo, woo.
Yeah. Now this is like a thing that just developed, so I guess I'm on the review team, the album review team, which is
Dude, that's huge.
yeah,
You're
I'm
coming up on the up and up.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. Well, all thanks to, you guys Gabby for giving me a platform to have content to submit, and
Yeah.
Drea for sending me the link, like foolproof, and be like, do this fucking shit.
That's
So
awesome.
I did, and I submitted it, and got a reply back. Of course, I'm very, very low on the tonal pole, make a minute, mark on it, but it's pretty great just to see how many people are involved and just the community that they support, not only, within the music scene, but different photographers and writers themselves. They just really try to like spread the love so everyone can have a voice. But of course, I mean, I'm just so impressed, with it in itself, and the fact that just the revolution that they're trying to keep print material alive too, and that's great. So
That's one of the better magazines that comes out
amazing.
because you get the actual little plexi disc that comes with it.
Right.
Considering
Yeah.
whatever band is on the cover at the time.
It's amazing.
It's huge.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
it's huge. It's huge. So the reviews, of course, are featured on the website itself, but I'm just like really stoked. It's interesting to be in another perspective. So I've had to do like a lot of different research, broaden my horizons a lot musically. So it's definitely inspiring me. So I'm so fortunate and grateful. So we'll see where it goes. But,
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. I'm excited for
Fuck
you.
yeah.
I can't
Thank
wait
you.
to see what
Stoked.
you come out with.
Yeah.
It's great.
It means a lot, you guys.
New Noise now.
Yeah, boop, boop. But now I'm like really part
Watch
of the
out.
enemy. Now I'm like, fuck, because there's always this part of me inside that's like, who the fuck wants to listen to my opinion of like what an album is? But I mean that's we're a part of the audience, so we're the
Yeah.
listeners. So it's nerve wracking, but at the same time want to do it justice and not blow smoke up people's asses. So
Right.
it's pushing me, which is good.
As long as you don't have like a group that's like, I hate Angelo.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
Down to 10 years from now.
I'm like, oh, sorry.
Just don't forget us when you get huge.
Yeah.
I say the same to you, bitches.
Gabby, what's going on?
Oh boy. Well, I've been acquiring more gear since the break. This is what happens when we go on break. I just buy more stuff
Yeah.
to fill the void of you guys being gone.
Oh.
Sad.
Not a lot. I mean, we spent all of May together, Drea and I, and a little bit of Angela at the end there. So
For sure.
we've been just busy. What else has been going on? I might be going into some business endeavor that I haven't really talked to you guys about it yet.
What the fuck?
But,
All these
Why didn't you tell me this?
I've been waiting to tell you guys.
Just so you know, listeners, we literally talk on Instant Messenger every day. And if not through Facebook, it's on Instagram.
Yeah, this has happened the last 2 weeks. I need to do something for myself.
Of course.
So I've been researching. I already bought the name. So it's happening, but it's 4 bands. That's all I can say right now.
4 bands.
It's 4 bands. So it could be
It's 4
anything.
bands.
Yeah.
Not 4 bands. Okay.
No, not like the number 4. Like, it's 4 bands. It's just, that's all I'll say
awesome.
for now. But
I'm excited for you.
So I've been doing a lot of research on that. So we'll see how that goes.
Cool. Well, whatever you do, it's always going to be great. So
Hopefully.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
What about you, Dre?
Yeah.
I don't know. We kind of went on tour for a little bit. We recorded
died?
some album. I died, which we won't get into this episode, but we'll talk about it on the Venomous Pinks episode that we hopefully can do at some point.
Yes. We are going to do it. It's going to be great.
Yeah. No.
The tables are going to turn. I'm going to interview and host the whole episode.
Yeah. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
We're also talking about bringing in some other like third-party people that you guys have worked with to kind of call in, and so it's not just us
Pinks.
talking about how badass you are. It's getting the real fucking story from all angles. So.
Yeah.
Excited.
No, life has been crazy since the last time I saw you guys. Things have skyrocketed, which is amazing. I don't know. I can't say too much.
Yeah.
I mean, follow me on Instagram. If you do, you've seen what I've been doing.
Yeah.
Oh, I do want to point out that the whole shoe ghost thing did not pan out like we thought it did.
Oh, the Grave Sister shoe.
Yeah,
Dude, I still believe it's...
Yeah. It was it was the cat that was moving shoes, and
I kind of thought that in the beginning.
what a
but-
disappointment, though. You know, because I set up the camera and it notifies you as soon as it goes off, and I'm watching this. You know, not at home. But I'm watching it live, and I'm like, watching him go to the camera, and then he's like, looks at the camera, and he's like, okay. And then he goes right for the shoes, and he's like sitting there for a minute, and he literally like starts moving it, and I'm like, no, like Ozzy. But like purposely, that's all he went in there to do was to move the shoes and to be like, hey, fuck your shoes, and move them. And I'm watching this, and I'm like dying. I'm like laughing my ass off as it's happening. So, I mean, case closed. I don't have a ghost in the closet. We're not going to go viral with that. You know, we're kind of hoping I had videos to post out there. But
did you keep it rolling, though, after the cat?
I have not. And I've thought about maybe I should do another one just
he
so we
didn't
can,
move
like,
it,
make sure.
Because he didn't move the shoe like he moved it. Like how you have photos of it. So you got to
right.
think about that.
Every photo I've posted or posted on my Instagram story, it's the shoes have always been way far
and only
out.
One.
And no, I've been thinking about maybe I should set it up again just to like catch him in the acts and
believe
for
in the ghost.
sure like rule it out. But I'm pretty sure it was him. Maybe he's just a connoisseur of shoe and likes to like fucking. He's the Al Bundy of cats and like shoes. I don't know.
You know, he's got a shoe fetish. You know, it's
right.
cool. No judgment, Ozzy.
I mean,
we all like our things, but one thing. But one thing that I do think is interesting about the whole shoe mystery is that they are perfectly moved right next to each other.
Yeah.
So if it was a cat doing it, I mean, there would be some unevenness, but it's like consistently, unless he's just very OCD about it. So
maybe he does have OCD.
Maybe we need to bring him in because this is like
let's ask him.
OCD, possible foot fetish,
cat interview.
You know, You know, let's do it on a Catterday. You know, let's bring it. I know.
Okay.
Not all of them are winners, guys.
Oh, God. I don't know. I think you might have I think I need to set it up so we can roll it out and figure out what's really going on with the shoes. But as of now, case closed. There's no viral videos. That's not my shot to fame. So we're going to keep on, keep it on.
Going, boo.
I like how that was your backup plan. You're like, if the venomous beans don't work,
Dude,
these shoes.
Always gotta have a
everybody
plan
should have a
B.
backup plan.
Yeah.
It's true. Plan
Yeah.
A, B, C, and D.
Plan O didn't. O for Ozzy didn't work out. So. All right. We're not going to be doing the Punk Rat News segment here on the Sound Sister podcast for this episode. We're actually going to be opening up the round table on a hot topic about social media and what it means to be in a band with social media.
Or any artist, for that matter.
Oh, any artist, yeah.
Any person.
Runs the world.
Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and kick this off because I am pretty passionate about this. So I wrote a little thing out. Let me read it, and then you go ahead and tell me what you think.
For sure.
My love and hate relationship with social media.
Oh, damn.
The reason I dislike social media is because we use it as a way to replace real face-to-face contact. When you have real connections with people and your life is really the way you want it to be, you won't feel the need to post it for everyone to see. You will just appreciate what you have and never want to let it go. Once you disconnect, you feel much more safe and happy due to not having the pressure to pleasing the world around you. But as an artist and a musician, there's a catch-22 to this. The artist-based community needs platforms to reach people. Otherwise, I would definitely delete all of my apps.
Yeah.
It's tedious. I don't like it. It takes part of my time. I'm wasting time. I have to interact. Like I said, we're not really posting what's really happening in our life. We're posting what you want people to see.
Filtered,
Yeah.
like figuratively and
Filtered
literally.
with porcelain skin and
I was just gonna post a selfie.
yeah. Like you bitches took selfies and I was sitting here like, fucking A, really? Okay. Like we haven't done this before. Like we haven't sat in this fucking room before. And you guys had to take selfies.
It's true.
I was literally sitting here like, really?
It's been months, Drea.
Drea, I barely update my shit. It's like one of the coolest
I know,
things I
you're
have.
pretty good. You don't update your stuff. You're like every hour on, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel it's time to stop overthinking, drop the scrutiny. I don't want to be, too negative on this, so I did come up with how to manage your time well with social media and when it comes to being an artist, because this is something we can't avoid. This is the world we live in. That's the digital world, unavoidable at this point. So I did come up with a list. I just didn't want to be like negative, and I did come up with a positive. So how to change the narrative that I just gave you. Learn to say no. Unanswered messages doesn't mean you reply as soon as possible. Let your schedulers take over for a while. I did that today. I programmed a schedule to post this morning, last night, because I was like, you know what? I'm going to be at work busy. I don't want to have to sit there and deal with this at work. My work is very strict on phone use, so I've been like getting in trouble lately because I've been like
you're on social
trying to
media.
like reply to it and stuff. So let your schedules take over for a while. Number 3, remove apps from your phone or iPad that you don't use. Remove the unnecessary apps. Limit your time to 15 minutes. Set a time apart. Be like, all right, at 9 a.m., I'm going to take a break, and I'm going to go look at my social media. I'm going to like stuff. I'm going to comment back on bands that I like. I'm going to interact with my fans. I'm going to go follow bands or fans. I'm going to post something, but limit your time. With your social media, use it to spread kindness and social awareness. Show a little vulnerability. It's cool that you're posting pictures with Glenn Danzig, but, I mean, use your voice. You have a platform. Make it count. I get it. You're cool. You're with Glenn Danzig, or you're with this band, or you're on tour, or you're doing backup vocals with this band. Consider how you're using that platform. Engage your fans. I mean, I don't know. I could keep going on, so I don't know.
I feel like I'm being
Deep, bro.
lectured.
I know. I'm being lectured over here. I can't.
No, I get it, because for me, I almost get like anxiety about it. And which is, I mean, it's terrible that the majority of my work is not available for people to see. And that's crazy as a photographer and someone that likes to make physical art pieces too. You know, and that's something that I have to like, that's one of my things, is to try to force myself often enough to put myself out there, because I'm fortunate enough that I do get enough traffic way and interest just through time and various projects that I've worked on. But if I was to focus on it better, like, I know I would have more positive results. But I also think that I am on it all the time, but I'm not using it in the most positive way. One thing that I did start doing about like a couple months back was do the Apple like screen reports. And that makes me totally aware of like how much fucking time I'm using on my phone.
It tells you now.
Yeah. And it's weird because, I mean, I work my corporate job. I'm staring at a screen. I come home. Like, I get really inspired by movies and different things. So I do watch some TV. And then I have to edit photos. So I'm staring at a screen again. And then I'm constantly in between staring at this little mini screen. And, but it's also hard too, because on the flip side, I made a lot of connections, not just by who I am and what I'm trying to promote, but just people who have like inspired me in just various ways that I've like actually created friends with people across the world that I would have never done so without this. So it's this like weird necessary evil, but I agree with you, because it's single-handedly one of the things that's killing away our natural way to want to interact with one another. It's also killing print publications. It's killing like, it's even like the way I mean, these phones are rad. They have great cameras. And I'm not saying that you can't use your phone as an artistic tool, but it's a lot of people aren't having needs for photographers like they used to. And it's definitely a double-edged sword. So
It is.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on it, Gabby? Because I know you definitely...
It runs the world, man. You need it.
Yeah,
like,
it's your lifeline over there.
Yeah, I mean, I cannot use it. Like, that's
Right.
a platform for all musicians nowadays. You know, I might show online, but I'm usually on YouTube watching tutorials. So, like,
Yeah.
people need to learn how to use your time more wisely, I guess. But, I mean, I don't have as negative as Drea. Like, I see that point of it, but I mean, it depends how people use it.
Well, and I also think it might be your direction, too, as an artist, because, I mean, you're also someone that loves tech shit and production things.
Yeah,
so, and also, not to age Drea and myself, but we are right in the thick of, like, analog. Like, we're that post, like, we can appreciate. I mean, you can because you're badass and you have an expansive mind, but you're also the generation where technology was life. I still remember like going to computer lab and learning computers when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I grew up like literally with the expansion of computers. I mean, even though of course the first computer was like in the 60s or 70s, but till it actually came to, you know, people's homes and everything, because when we were kids, like not everybody had computers. It was like, oh, just like the rich kid. Or,
yeah, exactly.
You know, or whoever.
Yeah.
And flyers, like you were talking about it too, the artwork of flyers.
That's a dead art form at this point.
Is.
I got a flyer on my car at Yucca the other night, and I was so taken back.
Right.
Because nobody does it anymore.
Yeah.
It's all, well, let me check Facebook. Let me check Instagram.
Right.
Yeah, I was doing that like 10 years ago, like the end of it. And then social media took over, and then no one ever looks at them.
It's crazy. I feel like that's something we should like still implement, because I'm sure you have a box of flyers that you've kept over the year.
Oh yeah,
over the years,
Lunch
because
box
you were like, this flyer is rad. Me too, dude. I'll go through my stuff and I'll be like, I remember that show. I remember this show. I played this show. It's just, I don't know. That's like
ticket stubs too are a big thing, because now like you just scan on your phone a lot of times.
Yeah,
or
I
you
miss
get
ticket stubs.
Yeah. I miss them sometimes.
Here's my phone. Go ahead and scan my ticket.
Right.
Awesome.
There are some times where if I really love the band, I will pay the extra fee just
for the
so
ticket.
I can get the ticket.
Me too.
Just because I'm like, I need that shit in my lunchbox.
Yeah. Well, it's just something to like have down the road. You know, when you're at least 70, you could be like, man, I went to the show. I don't really remember it, but I remember buying this ticket, or I used to love this band so much.
Right.
I don't know. I think the other thing about social media that kind of just pisses me off about it is next time you guys go out, pay attention to how many fucking people are on their fucking phone at shows. At shows during the band.
Yeah.
That is one thing that, like, seriously irritates me.
Yeah.
Especially when the band is playing. Put your phone down. Be in the moment.
And it's not just some of those attempts to try to take a phone photo or phone video. Because some people do that, you know, just to, like, you know, remember the moment. It's more than that. It's like, it's a constant stream of that. Like,
and that's cool. Like, take a picture, take a video for one song, not the whole show.
While you're holding the video, look up. Don't look at the concert through the phone.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So at least, because from what I've learned from all of you guys, meaning musician community, is that even if it's a packed room, you guys see every single person that's in the crowd.
Dude, I see every single
You
person.
see every
I see every person on their phone.
Yeah.
And literally, when I get home, I'm wondering, where are all these pictures and videos that everybody took tonight
sound like shit.
of us?
Yeah, and they all sound like shit. They all do, no matter what.
Yeah.
Well, and it's funny because at least when I try to take a video or something, I try to look up so they know that I'm respecting what they're doing, and I'm just trying to take something down. But I'm not saying that I haven't been that person in the past, but I've been very much more trying to be self-aware of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I think that that's the message, is self-awareness. But on the flip side of it, since we're now doing regular, like, business topics, what are some of helpful hints of what, like, bands should do and shouldn't do on how to bring awareness of their art through, like, what are the do's and don'ts of social media? Like, because some people want to improve in that area.
So, honestly, from running our social media account for the Venomous Pinks, we have to post every day to stay relevant. Whether it's a band picture, it's a picture of one of the band members, it's something that we really care about, it's a repost from one of our friends that have posted about us. So be mindful of the content you're pushing out to your feed. But know that you have to be consistent with your feed. It's okay to go silent for a few days, but definitely have pictures or videos that you save for ahead of time, because everything we post has already been taken weeks ago, and I'm like, all right, I'm posting this today, or I'm pushing this flyer today.
Case in point, there is a lot of people that just, like, throw up on social media. It's like, dude, people are only going to look at the first couple.
Right.
So you got to spread that shit out.
You do have to spread it out at this point. Thank you. Algorithms. We're battling with our other, with people in our feed on where our stuff pops up. And the whole world is ran by paying money for ads now. So bands, that's something you might have to consider down the road, paying for ads, unfortunately. If you want followers to see, your content. We have 2 ads going right now, and I did one with the intention to see, like, what it would do for our traffic. Okay. Because I was curious, and I hadn't done it on Instagram yet. But I'm seeing more traffic come to our profile, and obviously the picture's getting more likes. We're getting a couple of followers, like, every day. But again, I had to pay money to do that, so I could get that image out there and pushed out to a specific target. So yeah, bands, or artists, you definitely have to consider, business-wise, do I have money to do this? How much money do I consider is too much money to push towards ad promotion? But honestly, that's the sad reality we live in now, is that it's ran by the man, and you got to pay money to get your shit out there.
A couple of other things that I picked up tips from some other people that I've known that have gone to different seminars is that on Instagram, you can hashtag up the ass, and it improves things, right? But on Facebook...
No, and yes and no. I was just going to go into that wormhole.
Oh, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Because if you hashtag too many things,
right,
too many posts, you'll get blocked from that hashtag.
You get shadow banned.
And then you have to wait at least 5-10 days, don't post anything, and then you might reappear back on that hashtag, which I did an experiment because people are broke and stuff like that, watching YouTube videos on how to gain more fans naturally. I did it for about a week. Every day, maybe 30 minutes, I would go follow and comment on like the top recent hashtags of the things I like and follow people, and I've gained like 400 followers in the last like 2 months. So it works naturally if you want to put the time in it, but it's also how much time you want to spend on social media.
Right.
But it works.
But I also heard that, like, for instance, on Facebook, if you do too many hashtags, they block you, period. Hashtags don't really work as organically.
I've never cared about Facebook. I don't really know how that works, but I know Instagram is...
Facebook, if you check into something, like if you tag the location and you use about, like, 2 hashtags, it's okay. But if you use multiple hashtags, then it, like, buries it.
I usually just take off the hashtags.
Because, I mean, think about it. They just... It's just all about, you know, obeying and consuming and everything else. So
I was shadow banned from the hashtag the Venomous Pinks for like 2 weeks.
Which is fucked up. It's your hashtag.
I'm in that band.
It's weird though, because I use Venomous Pinks on every Venomous Pinks post, and we haven't been shadow banned. Yeah. So I don't know.
Maybe it's because you own that. Because
no, it's just because you post it too many times. And there's a thing if you post. So let's say you copy and paste the same hashtags 15, 20 every post. That's gonna get you shadow banned.
Okay.
So try to switch them up. I did that for about a week. I stopped hashtagging the band.
Do you keep them in like your notes apps?
No,
like different
I was
versions of it.
Sometimes I would copy and paste it, and then once I started doing the research because I got banned, it's a known issue. So and then they also said maybe if you advertise with those hashtags, it forces Instagram to push those hashtags out, which it didn't work for me. I only did like $5 and it didn't work. So
crazy.
Yeah. Social media, man.
I just wanted to go back to what you asked what bands should do. Back to actually like the variety of your content. If you're going to be posting content out there, a good mix would be to post artwork of your releases and shout outs to the creator. So give props out to the photographer or the artist.
Mm-hmm. You guys are awesome about that. I appreciate that.
15-second video previews of upcoming releases uploaded as a narrative video to Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. People attention spans are very, very short now. Videos are truly the way to go because especially short videos. They got to be short. They can't be long. You lose if nothing happens in the first 5 seconds, people swipe and that's it. It's the world we live in. But post 15-second videos, videos of your past performances, videos of studio sessions, so behind the scenes kind of stuff, pictures of past performances, so throwback pictures, pictures of studio sessions, selfies at interesting events, important or outrageous music industry news, releases by other artists that inspire you, which I'm totally about. I'm about pushing my friends. And hyping my friends out there. Music video clips, sharing releases of other artists to support them, marketing or production tips that have been helpful to you. Or, asking your fans' opinion on what releases they enjoyed the most and why. So just something to consider about the content you're pushing out there. So I'm not saying that I totally hate social media. I just hate the way that it's affected society. Obviously, I need it as an artist. But so it's a double sword here. It's a double sword.
We're grateful for it, but we hate it.
Right.
We love to hate it.
Yeah.
When we hate it to love it.
Love to hate it, hate to love it.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
It's a thing. It is.
I have a really successful photographer friend. One thing that he does is he will just, like you do, save a bunch of like his photos, and then he makes it a point to post Monday through Friday. And then on the weekends, he has the weekends off to do whatever.
That's good.
And that's really good because a lot of people are just, whatever on the weekends.
I don't post on the weekends for us.
It's good.
I don't.
It's good. Unless you have like a show or something. Then,
yeah.
Makes sense.
All right.
So, all right.
I'm glad we could talk about this.
So
let's get off my chest.
All right.
We're going to be asking Myra her opinion on social media because that's what she does for the Bad Cop, and it'd be interesting to see how she feels about it and what success they find with it.
Right. So. And that's also going to be in our future formats too, right? We're going to always have a roundtable topic and bring it in to the guests and see what they think.
Yeah.
Up next, we have Myra from Bad Cup Backup, but before that, we're going to play a song from some of the submissions we've received over the last week here. This band's called Return of the Leash, and the song is called Friday Night here on Sound Sisters.
And we're back. Give it up for Myra Gallarza.
Hi.
Hi, Myra.
It's Gallarza.
Gallarza. Gallarza.
Gallarza. What's up, guys? What's up, ladies?
What's up, Mama?
Not much, you know?
Myra, did you know your mom? Myra is mom?
From you guys, apparently. What's that all about?
from driving us
From
to
what?
Disneyland. Remember when we were in California, you drove us around
Oh, you're right.
Disneyland,
Yeah.
and then you took us to get tacos.
Yeah,
and
little
so
Disney
you were our mom.
adventure.
Yeah, you were our mom for that
Yeah,
day.
yeah. You're right.
Getting stuck in the circle.
So therefore, I got nicknamed that, right?
Yeah, Myra is mom.
Yeah.
She took us to Disneyland.
Gotcha.
And she was like, just kidding, we're not going to Disneyland.
I'm not gonna
But
lie.
you got tacos in the churro. Am I right? Yeah.
I'm not
That's
gonna lie.
true.
A part of me was like, "Fuck," and I wasn't invited. Where was I?
Should have went to NAM, then you would have, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Good
Yeah.
time.
That's all right. Maybe next year.
Next year.
Next Nam.
All right. So let's talk about. Let's get all official, Myra. Please state your name and what you do for your band.
I'm Myra Gallarza, and I am the drummer percussionist of Bad Cop, Bad Cop.
Whoa! Woo.
I bang things. Yeah. Bang things. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you joined the band in 2011, right? That's when you.
Yeah. We started the band in 2011. And first it was a 3-piece. It was me, Jen, little Jen. You guys, I'm not sure if you guys have met her yet or have met her. And Stacy. And then Jen left us a year later. And then we founded Lynn through Jen, which is really funny. So Lynn joined our ensemble, and like we were, that was it, so that's been our lineup changes. We haven't had many, so
Not like us. Awkward.
you and many million other bands.
I think, honestly,
But you know what? You have to find the right fit. Am I right, ladies? You got to find the right people
That's
to
right.
play with. And however many people it takes until you find the right people, that's worth that.
Yeah.
I've been seriously considering employed a career position in band therapy, being a band therapist, because sometimes you guys go through a lot of shit.
That would be a good idea, dude. Seriously.
Well, you're massaging them.
Yes,
Like,
tell me about your problems.
band drama.
Right.
I mean,
Totally.
all bands should probably see a therapist at some point together.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Very true. We have yet to do that, but it's in there. We have discussed doing that. So we just haven't done it yet.
That bad, huh?
Well,
Yeah, right?
any good relationship, finding different tools for communication is always a good thing. So everyone can.
Will you guys document it like Metallica?
Yeah, that is funny, huh? Did you watch that movie they did?
Oh, I did.
Saint
Yeah.
Anger or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a trip. Well, people are into it, then we should.
Yeah.
You know?
Make it a reality show, man.
Dude, I would.
Right?
I would tune in. I would watch it.
Yeah.
Did
Oh,
you guys ever see our bands? What was it? Band of Housewives? Or no, Band Wives on tour. Have you seen those videos we did during our last two tours in Europe?
Dude, those
You guys
videos
didn't see that
those
shit?
are great. No, I've seen it. Those are great. I love when you
Okay.
guys do that.
Oh man, no, I didn't.
Yeah.
Damn, I gotta watch that.
Yeah. I love
Yeah,
it.
we tried to do it on this tour, but we did one video at the airport, and then I don't know what happened. We just stopped. We didn't keep doing it, and I'm like, what happened? Like, we missed it. So yeah, it was really funny. It worked for one good tour, and then that was it. So, and then people are like, I love those videos. When are you guys gonna do more? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what happened. So we just stopped.
You guys are hitting the road soon, so maybe you could bring it back for this tour.
Maybe so. And then we'll have more ladies on the tour. So I think it would be really cool. We could do one with you guys when we play with you guys. That'd be rad.
Yeah, we should do it.
We're doing it.
Yeah. All right.
Oh,
It's on the list.
Go ahead and tell us how did you get into drums? It was through church, right?
Yeah. I used to go to church when I was little. My parents were very religious people. They were Christians. I went to church, and at a very young age, I just started playing drums. I was a very active child. I would like to run around and just not sit still in church. Of course, I don't know, if you're a kid, who would, right? But I just remember seeing a drum set there, and I just jumped on it one day when I was a kid. From what I was told, I don't remember this. And basically, I just started tapping on the drums, and everybody was like, what the heck is going on here? Because that's something that was not a thing back in the day. I grew up in the 70s, so that was never something that a girl should be into. So I was probably about 5. I couldn't reach the pedals, and I started messing around with the drum kit. And then by the time I could reach the actual pedals, I think it was about 7. And I started playing. My grandfather was actually in the church band that was there at the time, and he played guitar, blues player, so I would end up just jamming with him, and he taught me how to do a lot of stuff and follow and tempos and things like that at a very young age. And I didn't understand it, but I just, everything that I learned through just listening and watching. But there was a pastor there that kind of taught me. He was kind of like a jazz drummer, and he taught me how to do some stuff. And that's basically where it all started for me. And I think I played there in that church band for I think till I was about 11. And then I rebelled and I didn't want to go to church anymore. So I kind of was hitting those teenage years where I was like, okay, I'm over this. I'm done. And yeah, that's pretty much where it all started. And then I stopped for a bit. And then I met people during high school. And I think I started my first band after high school, but I kind of played steady for a bit, and then I stopped, and then I picked it up later in my teens, you know? So that's how it started.
So it was one of those things where you only played drums at church. Did you have a drum kit at home too?
I did not. I only played at church. We couldn't afford to have a drum kit. My parents couldn't afford to buy me one at the time, so church was where I would go and play. And there was no way I could have one at my house because I lived in an apartment. I think I would probably drive people crazy, you know? So, yeah.
So when did you get your real kit?
My real kit, I didn't get a real kit until I always jammed and played on other people's stuff. So I really didn't get one until I was probably 20. I think I was 21. I was in my early 20s, you know?
Huh.
So, yeah.
Just practicing on random household items, I would assume, until that point too, in between having like a kit in front of you.
Actually, I didn't. I was actually fortunate to like have friends and people that I knew that had drum kits that I could play. I don't ever recall or ever hearing that I tap. I love to tap and shake my foot. I really do that. But I do not remember like tapping on anything or tapping on pots or things like that, like most people say, but that never happened for me, you know?
Well, that's rad that you had a community of drum kits that you can wail on, you know, until you got your very own.
Yeah, for sure. I always hung out with older kids or older cats. So always there was an opportunity to jam with people. And if there was a drum set, I would definitely jump on it and play it at the time, you know, if it was available. So yeah, that was cool.
And what kind of music were you listening to in high school?
High school, I was listening to a lot of music. You know, I was into punk. I was into new wave. I was into rock and roll. I was kind of into a lot of stuff by that time. But mainly, you know, I listened to metal. I listened to hard rock. You know, I've been into music since I was a young age. Like I listened to punk rock. My first time seeing a punk rock band was probably when I was about 13. So yeah, I've always been into it. And I had friends from all different types. Like I had hippie friends, goth friends, you know, metal headbanger friends, you know. I had a lot of cholo and chola friends that were into like, you know, like R&B and like soul and like oldies and stuff like that. And so I hung around a big diverse of people that listened to a lot of different types of music. So that's good, you know?
Do you think that came through in a lot of like your musical influences and how you drum today? Just being exposed to that many types of music at such a younger, influential age?
Yeah, I think so. I think listening and being diverse and being open, like there was a time where I wasn't open to listening to a lot of different stuff. I only listened to this type of music. Like I didn't listen to country and I didn't listen. And then when I grew older and, you know, opened my mind and experimented, listened to other types of music, I started to get out of that pattern where it was like, okay, there's, you know, other good musicians and good types of music out there that I should just restrain myself to listening to, like rock or punk or metal, you know? And so, yeah, I think that has a lot to do with it. I think you're influenced when you're young, you're influenced by the type of stuff you're into at that time, and whatever you're exposed to. So yeah, you could say, yeah, that I was, you know?
Isn't that funny? I used to do that too when I was younger. No, I'm only listening to metal or punk or whatever. And
right.
Being so closed off because when you're at a young, it's almost like a badge of honor. Like, this is who I am. And not realizing what's really punk is like going past the boundaries too. So, and influenced by other things, but it's just really interesting that I think all of us have had, right?
Mm-hmm.
Growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like you're almost like, oh my God. Like during that time, I in '84, I remember I had a Peachy folder and I found it like years ago. And I was like, holy shit. I was into like Prince and Billie Eilish. Like that was on my Peachy folder. And then I was into other bands. Like I was into AC/DC and like, but it was random mix of like music I was listening to. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I was like, holy shit. Like I have Prince and Billie Eilish on a Peachy folder. Like that's kind of crazy, you know? So yeah. And I still love both those, you know, I still love Prince. I still listen to Prince. I love Billy Idol. You know what I mean? So it's just like whatever you're into. Like some people would be embarrassed back in the day to admit they liked like a country song or like a certain type of band or music that wasn't like cool to them. So yeah, it's like when you get older and you start appreciating music more and opening, like I said, your mind and your and broaden your horizons and like experiment a little, then you kind of change the way you feel about that stuff. You're like, that band shreds, that band's cool, that person's awesome. You know what I mean? It's like you're not restraining yourself to like when you're younger. Like the kids these days, I have no idea what they're into. That stuff, like music is so different today.
Nobody talks to Billy that way.
Oh God. Sorry, I was holding that in as much as I could.
Like, back to what you were just saying, how you learn to appreciate more music as you're older. Literally, I'm 30 years late on the Depeche Mode like train.
Oh,
like that's a band that I
no shit.
Yeah, like I've recently just like got into them, but I'm like, why was I not open to this before? But I think it's just one of those things where you get older and you just appreciate music as you're older, you know?
For sure.
yeah.
I don't know.
Hell yeah, Depeche Mode was one of my favorite bands, like for sure. I went to quite a bit of those concerts back in the day. 1986 Black Celebration was one of my first big concerts I went to when I saw them. Uh-huh. And then I saw them at the Rose Bowl for the 101 tour that they did. If you haven't seen the videos of that, you probably should. You might like it.
Is there any bands that you were like, oh shit, I was late for that? Like kind of how Drea discussed Depeche Mode. Is there any certain bands that you're like, God, I wish I knew this when I was younger. It would have changed my world at a younger age, or anything you missed out on?
Yeah, well, being that I came from like a religious family, my parents were so against me listening to certain things. So I was into Kiss and Iron Maiden and bands like that. Like I could not ever listen to their music in front of my parents, or even hang up a poster in my wall, because they were considered the devil music, you know?
Right.
So it sucked. And I was like, look, I love these bands, you know, but like that stuff was like, that terrified Christians back in the day. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're like, why do you listen to that devil worshiper music? Well, you're a devil worshiper. I was like, no, I'm not. I like that music, you know? But I think the only type is like, I think Heart's one of them. I wish I would have been into them when I was a lot younger. Bands like Cheap Trick. Now that I'm so into those bands now that I love those fucking bands. You know what I mean? Like, I think I knew mostly about Sabbath. I knew about Led Zeppelin, but I wish I could have seen half those bands back in the day when they were out, you know? But I can't remember too many, but I think Heart's one of them, Cheap Trick, maybe some Billy Squier, and like just bands like that, you know, rock and roll bands that I wasn't really aware of them until later when I was in high school, whatever, you know?
If you could go back in time, so like Doc Brown shows up, Myra, like, you know, with this crazy hair, Myra, get in the time machine, get in the DeLorean, you know, and you could go back in time and go to any concert, what would it be?
Oh man, I would love to see freaking Led Zeppelin when John Bonham was alive. That I've always said that, and you know, it's funny. Like me and the girls have ran into people in the airport, and not too long ago we ran into this older couple that was hanging out in Vegas. That you know you can smoke in these cubicles and go to this and have a drink in Vegas airport. They're like these really? Like glass enclosed cubes they have in the airport. So like we went in there and we just like we sat down. The girls wanted to smoke and we smoked and like had a couple beers, waiting for our flight. And this couple came in and they were from like Idaho or somewhere. I don't know where they were from, but they were really cool and they were telling us stories. They're like, you guys in the band? And we're like, yeah. And then so it's really funny how they see us, and then that's like they can tell. You could tell they're like old rock and roller type, and they've been to a lot of shows. But it was really cool for them to like just say, oh yeah, well they were just coming back from like going to some festival, and they were gonna go home. And then they're like, yeah, we used to see all these bands back in the day. And I remember them talking about seeing Led Zeppelin and bands like that. And I was like, oh man, they're like the one band I would have loved to have seen in their prime, Yeah. And the lady was real cool. She's like, well, I did. It was awesome. And
she's like, you missed out. Missed out. Sucks to be you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty lucky to have, my mom was very diverse on music when I was growing up, so I didn't really have like that devil music kind of thing, even though we're Mexico.
Did it make you feel bad?
Yeah, I mean, my mom had that from family in Mexico because she listened to all kinds of music, but she was very open to us listening to everything.
So you're lucky.
That's right, dude.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My parents were like, what is this punk rock shit? Why do you have a bell on? Like, it was just, they just didn't get it.
Yeah.
They didn't get it.
Yeah.
It was a little different for me because my parents, they're older, on the older side when I was a teenager, but she used to remember from her mom being like, that's devil's music. So she let me, explore music and go to concerts. But when it came to Doc Martens and wearing dog collars and everything else, I couldn't wear that shit. I had to hide it.
Oh,
that's the kind of thing. It's like my visual expression. That's one thing they try to.
Guess my mom was
tell
cool.
me now. Yeah,
was cool.
But there was one concert that I'm still very much regretful that I didn't just sneak, tell a lie and go stay at my friend's house. But it was in the 90s, so Marilyn Manson, the Antichrist superstar. I wanted to go to that whole concert. And my dad, who didn't say much of anything, said to me, you're Catholic, just like, no, you are not going to that concert at all. And I'm like, fuck, Dad spoke. He never says no. And I still regret because it's not the same, like Marilyn Manson at the time, and how I felt, and that sort of tour, that's like a one and only. I mean, I could see Marilyn Manson, but it's not that. It's not that day. It's not that,
It was like the mom in Detroit Rock City where she's like, you want to reach out and touch pure evil. You're like, I just want to see Marilyn Manson.
I just want to see him. Look, okay. What the fuck ever. Yeah. But yeah,
totally. That's how my parents acted. Like that movie. When I saw that movie, I fucking almost shit my pants. Watching how they reacted over them, wanting to go see Kiss and things like that. And I was like, holy shit, it's like my life right there. Literally.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But then
I had to hide and sneak out a lot to go to shows when I was younger. Every time I blasted music in my room, my dad would come in and turn that shit off. I'm like, fuck, it's like, yeah, man, it sucks. So
what's it like now that you're an accomplished drummer? Yeah. Now, what's it like now for you and that dynamic?
And your parents?
Well, now, my dad's not around no more. So I don't get to get shit from him now, but I don't know if he'd be cool with it or not now, but my mom's kind of adapted to it. She doesn't care. She used to say, I'm hija. So you're playing for the devil now. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm playing for myself. I'm like, no, I never really thought I was playing for the devil, but if you think that way, all right, whatever. I'm not. So it's kind of weird.
Ay, mija.
Yeah, ay, mija. Yeah.
So I did see a post on the social medias of you going to design school in the 90s or something.
Digging up dirt.
Yeah, you were.
Oh
by the
shit,
way,
guys!
By
Dang.
the way,
Yeah,
it's
oh,
hard
yeah.
to find dirt on you
Yeah,
on the internet.
I
You're
can't.
Like,
You know what
really
I
had
did?
to look.
You know what I did? I went through your Instagram and just scrolled, and then I zoomed in on anything that wasn't band related. I'm like, all right, because there's not a lot of stuff on
Did you? Wow.
No, but just curious, you know, like what was that about? You know, how did
well, when I was in high school, like I majored in art and music, so mainly art, because you have to pick one or the other. I don't know if you guys remember that, but so it was art. So I took a lot of art classes. I was an art major. I used to do art. I used to paint and draw and do a lot of stuff affiliated with art. I was in ceramics, plastic, you name it. I did graphic arts, which graphic arts was like my favorite in high school, but I should have majored in that if I only knew the future, right? I didn't know that back then, you know? So I was into that stuff, and I had AP classes in like my last year, my senior year. I remember my art teacher was like, well, what are you going to do? Are you going to is this something you want to pursue? And I'd say, well, I'd like to. And she's like, well, you really need to think about doing a portfolio. And I'm like, portfolio? Okay. I knew what it was, but just hearing that back then, you knew you were in like having to do a lot of freaking work, and I didn't want to do that. And I was like, fuck, this is the year I have to get serious, because like 12th grade was like the serious year. All the other years were not. I goofed off so much. I ditched, I partied, I didn't care. So 12th grade was like the year to like get serious, have a good grade point average, try to go to college and succeed and see what you're going to do. So I did a portfolio, and I had all the stuff that I did, like whether it was all the different elements of art, like charcoal paintings and things like that. I don't have a lot of that stuff anymore. I don't know what happened to it. But after high school, so I got a scholarship actually for art, and I was able to use that toward whatever school I wanted to go to. So I picked a school called Brooks College that was out in Long Beach. So after high school, I graduated in 91. You can tell now how old I am. And I went straight to Brooks College right after high school, and I graduated there in 93, but I went there and actually majored in interior design. So that's what I did. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, it's interior design for the devil.
Oh, yeah.
That's not what your mom thinks, right?
Yeah.
Decided for the devil now.
Oh yeah. Now I can hang whatever poster I want in my house. Get it.
But they have nice frames. They have nice frames though, so it's good. Do you still do artwork or any other mediums, or is that something that you miss?
I do miss it. I have not since becoming now a musician. That's pretty much what I do. I appreciate and love art. Like if there's ever like an art show or anything like that's cool to go check out from other artists, I'm totally down. Like I love going to museums. I appreciate art. I appreciate interiors. I wish I could have done that, but at the time when I went to school and graduated and I got my AA for it, right after I got it and I graduated, everyone thought we were going to, be placed and have an awesome job and make lots of money. And that didn't happen during that time. So, it happens to a lot of people when they go to college and get a degree. You expect and think you're going to land this awesome job after you graduate, and that's not the case. And what's funny is that school said that they had a 98% job placement after graduating from there, and that wasn't the case. So you can imagine me and like 300 other people at that time at that school, because it was a small school, looking for a job.
Wow.
And competing against, not only us, but the rest of the people out there. It was really tough. So I did internships. I tried really hard to get a job. I applied for like 6 months. And at different firms and companies, and just to get my foot in the door. And I was really close at some places, but the thing was, you know, you guys have probably heard this before, is that I was not experienced enough. And so when that happened, like, computers were starting to become a thing. It wasn't at that time, but the computer era was starting to come in. And if you didn't have experience or knowledge of certain computer like applications like CAD and things like that, you weren't going to get the job. So it was like, in other words, go back to school and learn that stuff so that you can get a job in that field. But I didn't do that. So I was close to landing a job at like ABC Studios, and all I was going to do was just like run blueprints for them, you know? That was as close as I got to maybe getting the job. And like, but it was so far away, and the commute for me to go to like Burbank every day would have been brutal, and it wasn't paying enough, you know? So on top of that, I didn't get the job. So there's that. So yeah. So that kind of discouraged me a bit. And I just figured, what am I working to do this for? And I finally just gave up. And then that's when I like got more into music, you know? And that's it. That's where I was at that time.
It's, you know, it's interesting that you bring up how, at the time, you know, you didn't know that computers were going to play this huge impact on graphic design and interior design and everything like that. You know, in the beginning of this episode, we do what we call roundtable discussion, and we talked about the influence of social media. This is why I asked you if you run your band's social media. The question is, you know, as artists, musicians, we need social media as a platform. I personally dislike it. I have a love-hate relationship with it. How do you feel about running your band's social media and everything, you know, that comes with it?
I like it. I'm pretty good at it, apparently. Like, the girls really delegate me to do that. Not because I'm always on my phone kind of thing. It's just, I just know how to do things. Like, I'm pretty tech savvy. I'm like the techie of the band. So the girls have me always, like, if there's an issue, like I help them out with it. But I run the whole social media platforms for the band. Because first and foremost, I know a little bit more about it. I can be more on it. And I know, like Jenny and Stacy and them, they don't have time to do it. They even though they're on their phone all the time, they just don't know how to do stuff, you know? Like, some of them don't even know how to copy and paste a link, you know? It's crazy. Like, yeah. Wow. So it can be frustrating for some people. Sometimes it's frustrating for me. Like, I just learned yesterday, people were asking me for admin access to our Facebook page for like the tour coming up. And I was like, what? And I was like, oh yeah, I've heard of this before, right? But I've never done it. Like, I've never given any, because I don't really kind of like to give access to our page, no offense, but I don't like people being in our stuff, you know what I mean? And it's like, if I give you access, please don't go in there and like look at our business, you know?
Right.
And so that's the only thing I worry about. So I didn't know that I had to go actually on my computer and open it up and go in there and give these people access to our page. Because our booker, Brian, was like, they said they sent the request. Are you sure you're not getting them all? And I'm like on my phone looking at it going, no, dude, I don't see the request. It's not on my phone. And I'm like, then today it dawned on me and I said, oh shit, maybe I should check my computer. So just to tell you guys, so it just so you know, if you're the band man, like if you handle the social media stuff and you have the band manager page, you can't do everything from that page. Just an FYI. So I went on the computer, opened it up, and I went there and I followed, and they're like, go to settings and check the page request. And I went there and I'm like, oh fuck, there they are. And I was like, I said, shit, it's been probably there. They're like, yeah, they sent you the request like a while ago. And I'm like, fuck, okay. Now I know. So I learned something new today on that, because I was like, I think I knew this before, but I didn't realize I still got to go on my goddamn computer to open this stuff up. Like, why can't we do this from the phone now? You know what I mean?
Just so you know, if you remove someone, they get notified.
Oh.
So, just FYI.
Shut up, really?
Yeah. They get an email.
Remove someone?
Yeah, if you remove someone from admin access, they'll get an email saying you've been removed.
We found that out the hard way.
And we
from experience.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, like when you remove a band member or somebody that was handling your shit. Yeah, so I have a few people on there. It's us, and I have given access to our merch girl and our TMs because why do you think all that live footage? Where do you think all that live footage comes from? You know what I mean? It ain't coming from my ass.
magical.
So I got to give these people access
from the devil.
Yeah. Coming straight from the devil. Yeah. Yeah.
Social media, devil.
Straight from the devil. Yep.
That shit is fucking funny.
No, I feel like Bad Cop does a really good job with their social media. You guys, you're very interactive with your fans. You repost things.
Yeah.
Or it's all Myra.
It's all Myra.
It's all me. Secret's out. It's me, guys.
I know a couple times I've been like reposted or on you guys. I'm like, Bad Cop. I fucking know them. See, there's proof. I know them. As a fan, we get excited. Yeah. So you do a good job.
Sure. Thank you. I've been told that. So that's great. Like some girl came up to us at a show and she's like, oh my God, whoever handles their social media is doing an awesome job. And I was like, I just started laughing and Jenny's like, that would be Myra, like, yeah. I'm on top of it. I try to follow it and be on top of it. Cause sometimes we get spam or shit, that we shouldn't be looking at or into. Not everything's always good. So I have to go in there and delete that shit before someone else sees it. I don't think the girls, I don't even know if they know how to go into like the Instagram and look at the actual messages and stuff like that. I don't even know. I don't even think they even know to that extent how to go in there and look at that stuff. So that's why I look at everything. I look at everything. So that's me.
Do you have any advice for like new artists, visual artists or band members on how they want to improve their social media feed? Any quick tips from Myra?
Quick tip, huh? Okay. Well, if you want to improve it and I guess make your numbers grow, you have to be active and like I said, I didn't think our page would take off so undue. I mean, I just do it. Like if you're not touring, that's the thing. When you're not touring, like between tours and things like that, I think you should probably post stuff like do a throwback, a lot of bands are doing that now, or like post shows coming up or, I don't know, maybe some rando funny stuff or just some cool stuff or share other bands or other people's stuff that you think is important. But yeah, I don't know. We get so much stuff, like people do videos and quick clips and snips of us. So sometimes I post that stuff. People like to see that. I like to post what I would think people want to see, and they always want to see, it's weird. Like they always want to see more videos or pictures of the band. So, weird. And pictures, like we don't have that many, like not at current. It's so hard for us to get together and do a freaking photo shoot. It's insane. Like, so we got to get more on those, but, I don't know. I guess just stay on it and post some funny, cool shit, if that's pretty much all I know. Like, I don't know how else to promote or advertise that.
Well, I mean, and a lot of people look at it as a curation too. And so I think your design and artistic sensibility plays into that, because it multiple things. So
yeah, that's why I felt like I went to school for the wrong thing. If I would have known like what the future was going to hold, like more graphic arts or like dealing with computer stuff, that's the area I would have went down, like the road I should have went down, I used to be the one used to make all the band flyers and things like that back in the day when we used to have to make band flyers. Yeah, I used to be the one to do that. Now it's like you could just do everything through a computer. Nobody goes out and makes a flyer by hand and goes down to Kinko's and prints them anymore. Like that used to be me too. And That's another thing. I used to work for Kinko's, and I used to get a lot of shit for free and do a lot of stuff for free there when I was in bands. So
I feel like flyer making is such a lost art form at this point. Like the actual, like Myra just said, printing out, cutting, pasting together. We got to bring it back.
It's the same as like zines and independent zines, although that's turning around and making a comeback too, but it's the same type sensibility, cutting, pasting, you know, actual paperwork, something physical and tangible. It's important.
Yeah. So Myra, you guys are in the studio right now.
yeah,
Working
on our third full length.
That's exciting.
It's cash.
It's whatever.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely cash right now because
Sarcasm everywhere.
as you know, Stacy's not here right now. She's out being a gimme right now, so she's touring with those guys.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's insane. That's so rad.
It is rad. We're stoked. We're happy for her. So she comes back on the 7th. So when she comes back, we'll probably be back in the studio to get some more stuff done on this record. We figured we're just going to take our time with it and not be in a rush, because we do have so much stuff in between recording that we have to do. And so it's, there's a lot of work to be done. I mean, I'm done with my drum track, so I'm stoked on that. So speaking of that, I will be hooking up with Johnny tomorrow. I'll be in the studio with him to go over some of that stuff and get it back going again. So, and then the girls have to go in and do their part. But yeah, we're working on it. So it's going to take us a while.
That's awesome. How do you feel about everything that's coming out so far as far as evolving your sound? Or, you know, the last album you guys did was really feminist and powerful. How do you feel about this record?
I think this record is going to be interesting. I don't think it's going to be as political as our last album. I think this is going to be more about internal issues with I think with the girls are going to write stuff about some of their experiences, especially Stacy. Like, she's got some real powerful songs that she's writing about her recent experiences. Jenny as well, and Lynn's working on it. It's just been kind of hard to get some good ideas flowing, and because we've been so busy, but it is going to be different. That's why we're going to take our time with it. And we're hoping if we're going to take our time with it, that this album's got to be just as good, if not better, than Warriors. So that's what we're hoping for. It's so early still in the stages of the recording that I can't really say, because I'm not the songwriter. I just do the beats. So I don't write any of the songs. So it's hard for me to say what the girls envision on this album right now, because it's kind of still premature, you know? So I'm not really sure on that one.
Is it looking like a more end of the year release or next year?
I think our plan is to release it next year.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're going to take the Venomous Pinks with you.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, ladies. So you guys got
Angela as the photographer. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Just slip it in there. You know? I gotta work mine too, girls.
That's right.
Side note, when you guys play and I'm not at a show, I get messages all the time. Where were you? I was like, I try to go to all of them, but I have other things. You guys know I'm not in the band, right?
It's not the same if you're not there.
I know. That means a lot. I should pick up the triangle or something. What do you say? What do you think? Should I do the tambourine for the audience?
Sure. Cowbell, whatever, dude.
Yes.
You can do it.
We always need more cowbell.
More cowbell.
Fucking
right?
A.
I
You know,
was just going to ask, what is it like to work with Fat Mike? Does he hear the song and he rips it apart first, and then he's like, no, wrong.
I am wearing a fat shirt today.
Pretty close, ladies.
Yeah. Yeah. You're like,
I'm going to just say this, that Fat Mike is like the Simon Cowell of punk rock, okay?
Okay.
So you know how Simon Cowell was or is, I guess. He might have eased up a bit throughout the years, but that dude was brutal.
Yeah.
Remember when he'd be like, "That's horrible," you know,
That's
shit like
shit.
that. Like
Right.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Fat Mike's going to be open and really honest. And if he believes in you and he really likes your band, he's going to push you to work really hard. Right. And he has done that to us. So he pushes us to work really hard because he wants us to do and be our best, which is crazy.
And to stay on his label, right? Because, I mean, you're amongst some of the few that have multiple releases on Fat Records. That's amazing. Usually you do an album, unless you're a regular band with them.
Yeah, I mean, we're lucky and fortunate to be on Fat Records and like them giving us the opportunity to be on that label. They're great people, and then they do become your family. So, and they're very supportive of everything that we do. It's been a trip, but Fat Mike, since he likes us a lot, he's really good friends with Stacy. He likes to be real hands-on with our stuff. So he really helped us out with our last album, including Davey. Davey's like our mastermind dude that helped us on everything that we've released. And, sometimes we don't all agree on stuff. We butt heads, that happens. He can be real tough on us. But it only helps us to be better, and like there's stuff that Stacy has wrote and like he's heard it and then he goes, no, you can do better than that. Come on, you can do better than that. What is that? And it's just funny because it's like but you know what? It pushes them to do better and work harder and come out with a better result. And they have, you know what I mean? That's why Warriors was such a great album, because they pushed us to work really hard on that. And some of those songs and the lyrics, I mean, I have no idea where these girls come up with that stuff. Like I said, I'm not a lyricist and I don't write the songs, but I'm pretty amazed when they come up with the stuff, and I'm just like, wow, so yeah, you guys will, I guess, see it. And you guys were on a couple of some of the songs, ladies. You guys helped us with.
Did it make it though?
Hopefully those songs. I don't know if we're going to keep those songs. I hope we do. We don't know yet. We don't know if they'll be on the chopping block or not yet. So, yeah.
That's amazing to just go in and record and be like, may or may not make the cut. I mean, a lot of bands, like they have, correct me if I'm wrong, a limited amount of time, like a day or less. And it's like, you just hurry up. And I mean, it must be amazing to have that creative freedom to be able to go in and record multiple days and to try different things out. And that's a great gift for sure.
It is. What works best is that you kind of have an idea and you have a structure, you have the song. Like our last album, we did not have a lot of those songs ready or done. It was a little different process. We basically, I guess, wrote them as we went along in the studio, where this time the girls are taking their time and writing these songs and having them ready, kind of ready. Majority of it's ready when we go in the studio, and then we'll figure out the structure and all that as we go along. And we have Johnny helping us on this album. So we got some extra hands on this and extra help. So yeah, I'm looking forward to continue to keep pushing and working on it. We'll see what happens. So far, I'm liking pretty much what we've done. But like I said, there's still a lot of work to be done and a lot of tweaking and editing and finishing up a lot of other songs. So we'll see what happens. I don't know how many are going to make it on the album, but we'll find out,
Totally off subject, but as I was watching you, I saw this pretty, this blinging ring that you have, this wedding ring you got going on. Oh wait, she went away. Yeah. So that was just my lame attempt at trying to segue something in.
The advice section.
So you're married and you are a touring badass and you are happily married. And as another lady that loves to go on adventure that's married, tell me, how does that work? What is your advice to maintain a rad punk rock marriage and have the balance between your creative endeavors and your home life?
Tell me, because I need it.
Yeah.
Gabby she got engaged.
What's the secret?
What's the secret, bro?
Yeah.
Well, congrats. Are you engaged? Did I know this? I don't remember this.
Yeah.
Oh,
Gabby,
okay,
Gabby,
okay.
yeah, Gabby just
Show me your bling. Ooh, that's nice. Nice ring, Gabby.
Thank you.
I'll
She's
work better
got
on the
some
segues.
taste.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, it's not easy. I'm going to put it that way. You have to be with somebody and find someone that understands, like, the life of being a musician, I guess. When I met my dude, I wasn't doing the extensive musician thing. I was in bands, but I wasn't touring much yet at that time. I wasn't really doing a whole lot. So I didn't know that life, and neither did he. So we were just, we cruised along. And then when I finally got into Bad Cop, I was in other bands. Like I said, those bands were mainly just weekend warrior type of bands. We were only playing a lot of local shows, maybe going up to SF Vegas, not very far, keeping it local. We didn't do extensive tours because a lot of people that I was in band with had real jobs. So a lot of them couldn't do the touring. And so when I met the Bad Cop ladies and we started to tour, I talked to my dude about it, and he was like, okay, well, is this going to be like often? Like, how often is this going to be? I'm like, I don't know. So I basically said, I guess the more popular and the more stuff you do, I guess the more touring happens. So he understood. Like I said, I was married to him way before my this touring stuff took off with the band. We've been married since 2001. So the band Bad Cop didn't start till 2011. Mm-hmm. So, and we started touring probably heavily right after we got signed. So that was like 2014. So we've been touring a lot the last few years. So understands it's not easy. I think we both have an agreement of like, we've kind of now, do it where we only tour for a certain amount of time. So I think we're trying to only max out maybe 3 to 4 weeks where we were kind of gone for like a month or two or so at a time. And it does put a strain in your relationship, and it puts a strain not only in your relationship with your dude or your boyfriend or whoever, but it puts a strain on the band. Like when you're on the road a lot, everybody's personality is different. It's not always easy to maintain that. And some people get homesick, and some people aren't used to being gone a lot and being gone from their loved ones. We're all different. So yeah, we just learn how to manage and deal with it. But we do make changes to what our touring schedule is like. Like right now, I'm tripping that I'm home right now. Like this is like the first time in 5 years, I think, that I've been home at around this time. So it's a trip. I like it though. I'm enjoying it. I'm actually able to be home and not be on the schedule and be relaxed and go to the gym and go to the park and go do whatever I want on my own terms, and like be home and cook a meal, and do things with my dude and go out of town with him. So it's nice. Like right now I'm home and I'm just like tripping going, wow, last year we were like doing a tour, we weren't even here. We were in Europe, And so it's nice. It's nice to have that adjustment. So I would say as long as your dude or the person you're with is cool, knowing that you have being a musician is like, you're going to have a crazy schedule. It's going to change, and you might be gone for a bit and you might not be, as long as they understand that. If they don't, then I don't know. Like, I think maybe just talk about it. If they can't deal with it, then unfortunately lots of people break up because of that stuff, and it sucks,
Right.
But
Yeah.
Lots of trust.
yeah, man.
So much feels, man.
She's all, if it doesn't work out, you're fucked.
Still going on tour.
Bye.
Yeah, right. It's me or the band. Yeah, it's like me or the band. Hey man, I've been in bands where like my bandmates had to quit the band because their significant other wouldn't let them do stuff, and I'd be like, holy shit, that's
such
fucked
a
up,
foreign
you know?
concept for me.
Fuck that.
As a person, I don't know.
Yeah,
Like my husband's like, go on tour, have fun, you know. I wish I was going, you know,
awesome.
tour with my own band, you know. That's what he's kind of like. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, Myra, talking about tour, how you guys been on tour forever, you got to have some like tour war stories. What's the worst between you guys, or you've seen like horror stories on the tour?
On the road.
On the road.
On the road with Myra.
Yeah, Mama Myra, the devil worshiper.
So many nicknames.
Tori
so
is
many
the devil.
Oh shit!
We
opened up a big one today, huh?
Every city,
right?
the devil.
Every time I see you, hi, Mija.
Hi, Mija. Let me think. Let me see. Okay, so you're saying like a war story, like a bad situation, or like
No, tell her about the time with the joint in the van.
Oh God. Well.
no, let's
Well, let's just say there was a situation where it might have been on the Girl Gang tour.
That was the last night.
All right. Hopefully
Tell
my
her.
parents are in, or my just people. All right. So we were in California, right? And there was this lovely multicolored hair person who we're all friends with, and she's a big fan of yours. Yeah. I like how I was trying to be discreet, and she's like, and I was, you know, she's one of those virtual friends, and I was like, I just like love her and communicate with her, but barely had seen her in person. And she was like, I go up to her, and I was just like, hey, do you know where I can get in, you know, some smoke or whatever? And like magic, she pulls this joint out of like her hair. And I was like, oh, it's like, oh my God, you're a magical being. How did that happen? So anyways, like I smoked part of it. I put it in my jacket, my hoodie actually, and I put it in the van, not thinking of it. Wasn't going to like go on tour with it because obviously I'm on tour with other people. I'm not going to go carrying, you know, into a state with it or anything. And I wasn't going to go driving around with it. I just literally, okay, I got stoned and I fucking forgot where it was. Let's be real. Fucking be real. So it was in there, and I guess, you know, caused some aroma in the van, even though California is legal, right? And let's just say there was a band member.
Ex-members.
Oh, I've heard this story.
Yeah.
I've heard this story before.
How the fuck did you hear this story? I never told you.
No, not you, but someone else told me.
She like fucking flipped, and I'm like in the back. Well, first of all, I'm getting liquor because I was like sober the whole time, besides the joint smoking, and like all of a sudden another ex-member is like, no, dude, just so you know, oh my gosh, this person's freaking out. She's freaking out. I'm like, what? What's going on? I get in the van, and she's just going off. Like, whoever has the weed needs to get rid of it right now. I don't understand. And she's just like fucking going off. I'm in the back, and then I'm having like another person whispering, shh, don't say anything. Don't say anything. Don't say anything. And I'm just like, I'm like, I'm sorry, it's fine.
Worse.
It's fine.
Worse. It's escalating.
It's escalating. And meanwhile, I'm like crying. They're like arguing, and then
I'm like, does it matter?
Because we're in California, it's fucking legal. And then fucking Gabby over here is messaging me on Facebook saying, fuck her. She's just a band member. You're my friend. You're my real friend. Don't fucking... She's like super pissed. I'm texting my husband like, I don't want to be here right now. I'm breaking up the band. What's happening?
And we're all like still in the van. We haven't even moved.
Still in the van.
The band's breaking up.
The band's breaking up
because of me.
It's my fault. I just want to be home. There's no place home. Please stay home.
So a story like that, just conflict, I guess, or I mean, you're on the road. I'm sure you see all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. We have a lot of crazy stories. But as far as weed, well, our band is a big weed. What do you call it? We have lots of weed consumption in the band, and it's not by me, because what's funny is I don't smoke weed anymore. So I live the natural high life, if you know what I mean. So, the other girls, they love weed. They can't live without it. So it's like a thing every time. So every time, like, the only thing that's happened to us is every time we get pulled over, especially at the border. We got into a bit of a problem. I think we were in Nebraska a couple years ago, and we got pulled over from these Nebraskan cops. And what happened, though, I'm going to say this, our driver, you ever driven on the road and see those checkpoints where you see the signs? It's like checkpoint straight ahead. Oh yeah. All right, well, he saw that sign and literally went off the road when he saw it instead of going. And I was like, I don't know if I don't want to mention his name. I don't want to embarrass him, but I was like, dude, you don't fucking do that. You go straight. Like, you gotta go. Like, that is like the major, like the biggest decoy you can do, like in a van situation. Hello, look at all of us. We're in this van. And then were we in our church van? Yeah, we were in our church van still. I don't know if you guys remember our church van in Encarnacion.
Did that help with your mom with touring? She's like, well, they're in a church van.
Right? My mom was cool with that. She was really strict about that one. Well, I don't know. You guys remember that van we had? It was called Encarnacion, and she like had one half was script, like the whole van was all scriptured, Christian scripture. So one side was in English and the other side was in Spanish. It was hilarious. So like we never, like, I kid you not, in the years that we've had that van and toured across the country, we only got pulled over, I think, like twice. Huh. So
it's the trick.
Yeah. It's a trick. Yeah. They're not going to fuck with you in a church van, dude. I'm not kidding. It's so true. They're not going to fuck with you in a church van. So we got pulled over because our friend went off the road, going back to that story. So we're in the middle of, like, I don't know where, some desolate road out in Nebraska. And it was like the cops kind of took a while to come to the van. And I just remember, like, I didn't move around, and I said, nobody moved. Just act cool. Everybody be cool, And I'm like, I know you guys got fucking weed. Who has the fucking weed? And they're all, we all have weed. And I'm like, oh, fuck. And I'm like, all right, just be cool. Just be cool. Because I didn't know the law in Nebraska, like, I don't know what the deal was there, if they tolerated it or not. So I'm just like, I think Jenny had gummies as well. Everybody had weed.
You're going
So this is a funny story. I'm trying to keep it short. So the cops finally come up to the window and was like, do you know why we pulled you over? And I'm like, I know. I know why you pulled us over. And my friend was like acting like no. And my friend, kid you not, my friend that was driving at the time, he was actually our merch guy at the time, driving, and our driver was chilling in the passenger seat. So we're in Nebraska, guys, okay? And they pull us over, and there's two brown dudes in the front with long hair, okay? Just saying. How funny is that, And I'm like, oh, fuck, I hope they don't fuck with us. I hope these cops are cool and they don't, like, give these guys shit, So anyways, and he our friend was like, no, why did you pull us over? And he goes, I don't know, maybe because I got off the road. And he goes, bingo. And he goes, yeah, you literally didn't know there was like what do you call it? A police stop check up the street, and what happened was that sign was there, and that was totally a fake checkpoint from what we found out. There wasn't even a checkpoint happening up the street. Yeah. It's fucking crazy. So
gotcha.
Yeah, tricked us. So okay. God, I got so many stories about Nebraska, guys. It's so funny. So yeah, they definitely tricked us. And so they made us all get out of the car, and they said, first thing they said, of course, because they're like, what are you guys doing? And where are you guys from? And so they're like, okay, real quick, we're going to get straight to the point. Do any of you have any drugs or paraphernalia we should know about? I just was like, fuck. And then, what's funny is Stacy, I don't know why Stacy did this, but Stacy's like, I got all this weed. So I was like, what the fuck, Stacy?
She was probably high as fuck and paranoid. Like,
oh my God. So it's funny because everybody gave Stacy their weed. I don't know why in the fuck no one kept their weed. Like they were like, does anyone have weed? And she said, I do. And she had everybody's weed in her hand. And I was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, oh man. So that's the only funny time I can remember as far as getting pulled over and getting asked that by the cops. It was fucking hilarious. So basically they searched the van. They went through our stuff. They found some more stuff. They didn't find everything though, from what we found out after they checked us. But, yeah, that's, we were really scared at that moment because we didn't know what was going to happen. I think they don't tolerate weed. And Stacey's like, well, I have a medical card. And they're all, well, you're in Nebraska. That doesn't work here. And so I was like, oh, fuck, and I didn't know if they were going to arrest some of us or ticket us. So the cop goes, you got two options. You guys can either go down to the station or I can give you a ticket. And we're like, well, yeah, of course we're not going to fucking say we're going down to the station. We're going to take the ticket. But I was like tripping because I told them, yeah. And I said, I just turned when they walked away and I looked at them. We're all standing out there. It's really windy. We're like just standing out in the middle of nowhere. We don't know what the fuck's going to happen. We were kind of freaked out for a bit. I just turned around and said, if I get a fucking ticket, I'm going to be so fucking mad because I don't smoke weed, and I'm like, I don't have nothing on me. So, the cop actually did not ticket me, but he ticketed everybody else in the van.
Nice.
So
not looking at your pupils, you don't
yeah. Yeah, I got scot-free. And I'm going to tell you, that was a pretty hefty fucking ticket. It was like $750,
What? And
yeah.
Weed.
Just for weed in Nebraska.
That probably paid for a dirt road somewhere in Nebraska. Fuck.
The dirt weed out there. I don't know. Yeah, we have this saying every time we're in Nebraska, we say old man Nebraska, because there's another story where we went there on another tour and we went to this fake gas station.
You're going to fake locations.
Yeah. It looked like a real gas station that was like converted into like a pet farm, like a petting zoo. And that place had like donkeys and like llamas and like pigs. And so of course us being that we love fucking animals, we saw it and we're like, oh my God, let's go there. And then we really needed to use the bathroom and get gas, but it was a total like decoy to just get people up there. And it wasn't really a gas station or a bathroom. But we were like, what the fuck is this place? We went into the store in there and there's some older dude working it. And we're like, do you have a bathroom we can use? He goes, nope. And I'm all, well, what is there to do here? He's like, there's a liquor store. And I got some feed where you could buy, you had to pay for the feed. It was like in a candy thing in a dispenser. And you would put like 25 cents or something to get feed to feed the animals. And that's it. You can go out and hang out and pet and feed the animals, but that was about it. There wasn't a gas station and there wasn't a bathroom you can use. So I was just like, so we called that guy Old Man Nebraska. And so we're like, you got a bathroom you can use? Nope. Tricked ya. So that's like our thing that we say every time we're in Nebraska. Tricked ya. So when we did that checkpoint, avoiding that checkpoint, I just started laughing. It's like, yep, getting pulled over. Yep, tricked ya. There's a fake ass sign saying there's a checkpoint ahead. And we found out when we got back on the road and drove past it, we're like, motherfucker, there's not even a fucking checkpoint. It's just a fake sign saying there's a checkpoint. So
well, Myra, did you guys pay to feed the pets?
We did.
Yeah.
So regardless if we didn't have a bathroom or have gas, we got suckered into feeding those pets. So we were there for a minute doing videos and stuff. We're like, oh, look at this donkey, And like, so
like,
we
I
pet
may
those.
be pissing myself, but this donkey is getting fed.
Yeah. I know, it just sucked because it was like out in the middle of nowhere and it was kind of warm. And I'm like, oh, that sucks. This is their job, this is what these pets have to do every day and lure people here and like thinking you're going to get gas and fucking go to the bathroom. It's like, nope, tricked ya. So, yeah. So anyways, that's my story on that one. Yeah, I'm sure we have more. I just can't remember.
So you guys have a tour coming up. Tell us a little bit about your tour. Where are you going?
Ooh, all right. Yeah, we got a little tour coming in July. We are taking out Dog Party and Party Pity. It's going to be a whole big party. So we are going to go do one date in Canada that we're actually flying to play some tattoo festival up there. And then we come back and play the 25th anniversary of Warped Tour in Mountain View the following day. And then we're heading out to Denver. We're heading out to Salt Lake City.
Not Nebraska.
Not Nebraska. No, you know what? Fuck, we are going to Nebraska. When I saw that on the tour schedule, I was like, fuck, we're going back to Nebraska. Oh, man. Yeah. So we'll be there again. Maybe there'll be another story. I'm hoping we don't get pulled over this time, though. So, yeah, we're heading there, Chicago. I think St. Louis. You know, we're just doing a quick, 9 date, but we're going to be gone for a few weeks because all the driving involved. So we're just going to do a quick loop around the Midwest and back kind of deal. And then that's it.
So one question that I do have is that a lot of photographers always miss the drummers as far as taking pictures, right? And I know you definitely call us out, which is true. It's definitely difficult. So do you have any advice for photographers on how to get better shots of the drummer? Or is there certain angles that you, as a drummer, you like better than others?
Good question. I mean, yeah, it's really funny. I don't know if you guys seen these memes that have gone around. There's one that I posted one time. It's like, yeah, great shot of the drummer, but it's like the cymbals blocking.
Totally. Every time.
Your face.
I think I have 5 in my hard drive of you.
Oh, really? With the cymbal
Yeah.
blockage? Yeah. It's hilarious because this photographer sent us pictures of some show he took pictures of, and it's like, oh, he's got all these great pictures of Jenny, Lynn, and Stacy, and then he gets one of me, and it's like cymbal blockage on my face. I'm like, cool pic.
And he probably worked his ass off trying to get that too.
I'm like, cool
Hershey,
pic, bro. It's there's certain photographers that know how to take drummer for photos. We took Eden a few years ago. I don't know if you guys know Eden Kittiver. She's a young photographer girl that we met through the VLHS crew. And she just came to our shows and took pictures and posted them. We're like, hey, you do pretty good pictures. And she's like, well, I'm down to tour if you guys ever need a photographer. So we took her on the Warped Tour with us, and she did all our photos for the Warped Tour. I don't know if you've seen some of those images, but oh my God, she took so many great pictures.
She's a really good photographer.
And she just she knows how to capture it. She would tell me, is it okay? I don't want to be in your face. Is there any part that you don't want? I said, hey, I don't care as long as you don't get a double chin pic and a bad angle pic from my side or something like that. You know what I mean? Other than that, shoot away, So she learned how to just do photos where she can come up and do really cool side. She knew how to avoid the cymbal, which was great. And I was like, wow, that's awesome, Eden. She did a lot of overhead shots where we're cool. Jason Cook is also very good. He's done really good photos of me. And there's a few photographers that just know how to do it. And Jason Cook is another one. He just knows how to get a picture of the drummer. It's awesome.
Yeah.
But I get it. It's hard because if I'm on a riser, or even if I'm not on a riser and we're on a big stage and the stage is high and the photographers have to take a picture from 3 feet below, and that's kind of a hard angle, and I'm in the back, I get it.
I'm sure.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's hard to get a good picture from the drummer from there because the girls are right in front. I'm back here, you know what I mean?
Right.
Unless that photographer is willing or allowed to come on stage,
Right.
and
that's That's not always the case. And
no, it's not.
And more times than not. And I remember the first time I went on stage to like photograph the drummer at like the marquee, and it was like huge. I'm like, oh, please don't fucking unplug anything. I was scared shitless, but it was already pre-planned because I was there before. But like, if I'm just randomly there for a band and I'm shooting and stuff, of course you can't just like go on fucking stage. Although I sometimes creep. Sometimes. Anyway.
Well, you can, like, if we play and there's access for you and you can't come on stage, you're more than welcome to, dude. You don't have to.
Oh, let's give you approval.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah.
Oh, like, I got so excited. I knocked over
You knock over the mic.
Win, Angela.
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, we're cool with people that we know, and like Jason and Eden and people like that who just know. Like, Jason has access for a lot of stuff. It's a trip. That dude can be all over the fucking stage. He'll just come up and like real quick snap like that. I'm like, whoa, dude, where the hell did you come from? You know? And it's like, the only parts that suck is like when we play venues or places where like I literally have a wall behind me and there's no access to go around me or get real close to me because all the gear is like next to my ass, you know? So those are the only tough shots, unless you're in the front and the stage is like low and it's a good level for you to get a good picture, then yeah, you know? Yeah. But other than that, yeah, it's tough. It's gotta be tough. I must say it's probably the toughest to photograph a drummer, always. And I know that. I know that because I don't always see, there's some shows and I get pictures and I'm like, there is not one picture of me in this. And I'm like, oh, well, you know? And they're like, I'm sorry, it was really hard. I couldn't get you and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, it's okay. I get it.
That's
you know?
cool. I just keep the beat for the band, but whatever.
Yeah, I'm just back here. Don't mind me.
Sitting here.
Well, and it's cool, like Rico, because he started out on drums, so he really gave me a lot of tips. Oh, do this, like drummers like this and drummers like that. So I always like to get the different, go-tos. So now I know, Myra.
Right.
I can creep up. Yeah. I'm excited.
So
you're gonna be sorry you ever said that to me.
I know. I'm gonna be like, fuck! I can't get Angela out of my face now, right?
Please.
I turn around, you're like right there. Hey,
Myra, I love you.
Snap.
Yeah.
Hi, Mija.
Hi, Mija. What did I do? What'd you do?
Well, Myra, since we're talking about drums and advice, I guess we'll do the little advice, little Myra corner.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So you started young drumming, being a woman, young girl. So what advice would you give younger girls trying to get into playing drums? Because it's still kind of a big instrument. With guitars, girls playing nowadays, it's a little more acceptable. But drums is still like, you get the drums are for boys and all that crap. Like, what advice would you give younger girls that are trying to just grab some sticks and start whacking shit? Like,
or even older ones.
Yeah, even older ones.
Yeah.
Anybody.
Yeah. There's no age limit, ladies. I'm going to tell you the last, I forgot what tour it was. One of our tours we did, I had older women coming up to me and telling me like, oh my God, I just started drumming and I just picked up drumming not too long ago. And then I came to see you guys and it's just so inspiring and it just motivates me to, want to drum more. And I'm like, fuck yeah, great. And like this one lady was like telling me she was like 50 and just started picking up the sticks. And I was like, oh my God, I was like high-fiving her and everything. And I love hearing these stories. And the only thing is like, for me, when I started playing during that time, I didn't know any other girls doing that shit. And I think a lot of people, especially in the church and wherever I was at, whenever I played, people saw that and were just like amazed, I guess. And they tripped out, like, cause there was no girls. I was the only girl from that church group that I played during that time. It was always the boys. I had to fight with the boys to always take my turn on the drums, and the people there would be like, no, let Myra drum. She's better than you. No offense. But yeah, so I would always get voted to play and these dudes would get all mad and get all upset, and it was like, yeah, whatever. If it's whatever, girls are better,
And they're probably like, oh, she's part of the double group.
Back off. Yeah. I would say, I've told girls like, don't worry. And I've told people that are wanting to play the drums, I said, just practice and don't give up. Don't stop. Like I always told myself that if I've given up because of what people said about women playing drums, oh, that's not a instrument for girls or women. I mean, shit, fuck that. It's like, if that's what you want to do, there shouldn't be a reason for anybody or anything to hold you back to do that. Just get up and play. Don't worry about what you sound like or what you look like. It's a trip that still to date, there is not more female drummers out there. It amazes me still that I'm like, and I always say, we need more women drummers. Like I tell these little girls, or the parents, they tell me, oh, she just started playing drums. Her favorite instrument is drums. I'm like, right on, and I just tell them like, stay motivated and keep doing it. I said, we need more girl drummers because one day you might need to fill in for me, or like one day you might not. Yeah, you might need to be opening up for us. You know what I mean? And so that really kind of spikes their attitude a little bit. And they're just like, oh my God, that's so cool. And, but other than that, I just tell them to don't stop and don't worry what people say. And just, if that's what you want to do, get into it and really be into it and learn it and play. Just get up and play. Who cares? That's it. I mean, I don't have more to say about that. If that's something you want to do, just get out and do it. You know what I mean?
Because otherwise it haunts you till this day.
Yeah.
Back in elementary school, I wanted to play the tuba so bad.
Oh,
wow, tuba.
Yeah, and it wouldn't let me because I was too small, and apparently it's not like a girl's instrument. So I was stuck with the fucking trumpet. Wow.
Yeah,
I wanted to play the fucking tuba.
I wanted to play the drums. I actually did, but my mom wouldn't let me.
I'm just imagining you with this.
I know,
I know, right? Tuba.
The tuba. This thing is
tuba
so
Gabby.
Cool.
Who's got a
it's
tuba?
Bassy. Like I guess I always liked like the low tones, and I wanted to play the fucking tuba.
Nothing stopping
And to
me
this
now,
day,
girl.
20 years old, I still fucking remember that I couldn't play it.
Still
Do you
mad?
still want to play the
I was
tuba?
still playing the fucking trumpet.
Do
Nobody
you
wants
still want to play the tuba?
I do. I'm probably gonna buy one now, and the saxophone too.
But you never learned to play it? You don't know how to play it?
No, I just always intrigued me. Hey.
Huh. That's all right, because I played a ton of different instruments. I played the accordion one time, guys.
The accordion's rad. I wanted to play.
When I was little and I had this big ass accordion, it wasn't so rad trying to play on that thing in front of do a recital in front of a bunch of people, and I was just like, oh my God, this thing is so huge. But I did do that. I played piano. I played the flute. I tried playing the saxophone. I tried playing every other instrument you can think of because that's what my family did to me. They were trying to make me play other instruments and just to see, not to not let me play drums, but they just wanted to see if I had interest or if I was able to play other instruments as well. Drums wasn't their preferred instrument apparently. So, and they're like, no, it looks like she likes the drums. So I guess we should just let her play the drums. Yeah.
My mom didn't want the noise of the drums, so I got stuck with the clarinet for 7 years.
See? Yeah, they're like, why don't you play something prettier, like the piano? Like, I just could not ever remember, like when I learned the notes and everything. It wouldn't stick with me, and I had a hard time. Like, oh fuck, how did that go again? And so, drums was the only thing like I can remember. I never took classes for it, so I don't know the theory of drums. I just know. The basics, like I know my rudiments, I know all the flams and paradiddles and all that stuff, but I never like really learned to read notes and write notes. I tried, but it never stuck with me. So the only thing that I remembered is like, if I could sit on a drum, I can follow the pattern and I know how to do it, and that's how I did it. I would listen and I would watch, and I still do. I listen and watch so many drummers, and that's how I keep my style going and defining my sound and my style. I watch drummers. I'm like, oh, that's kind of a cool move. Not trying to steal it, but it's good. I can implement that, but things like that, that's how I've always done it. I've never was able to learn how to read and do notes.
Well, it makes sense. Like you're a visually artistic person in addition to so watching and then listening. I mean, it caters to both of your strengths, so makes sense. I think it.
You're right.
I'm telling you, I should be a therapist for music.
You should be. You should be. You should do a therapy podcast. That would be fucking awesome.
Just have musicians call you in.
Exactly.
But,
New idea.
I mean, you know.
Yeah, you should, Angela. You could be like, on today's therapy podcast, we're gonna have, and then you can have that band. That's if they want to air this shit. But I mean, that would be kind of funny. That would be kind of funny.
It's great. She's like, I want you to do that so I can listen. We should do that. Yeah. A little segment.
So let's get into ghosts or some paranormal.
I know. She had the spooky look in her eye. That was all. She's gonna
That's
go
just
there.
how I look.
That's my favorite subject.
It's just my face, Angela.
That's just my gangster name, Spooky.
Spooky.
Little Spooky.
Spooky
Little
McDowell.
spooky. There's your
Los
new rap.
Spookies.
Little-
You guys watch that?
Little spooky.
No.
You guys watch that show?
No, what is that?
That's Fred Armisen's new show. It's like a TV novella, like he's in, and it's called Los Spookies.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet, but I've heard a lot about it, and it looks pretty funny. What's funny is like everyone else is speaking Spanish, and they do the subtitles for them, and then he speaks in English. So they do the subtitles for him for the Spanish-speaking people. It's kind of funny. I was like, oh, that's pretty funny. You know, Fred should just speak in Spanish because I think he knows it. But I don't know. I have to look into it. My friend told me about it. She's like, you got to watch Los Spookies. I'm like, what? And I'm like,
Damn, that's good to know then. I gotta watch it too. I haven't.
Yeah.
Remember when we saw him at NAMM? And I was like,
yeah, that's right, huh?
Yeah.
We tried to go back. We're like all like, we can't go up because there's a line.
yeah.
And then it was like, we tried to go back later to see if the line got smaller, and then like, nope. And then it was like, oh, now he's gone. We're like, we missed him. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
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 Do you
I
have
love
any
those
ghosts?
stories.
Have you seen anything? Tell me. I want to know everything.
Have I seen it? I have not seen any paranormal shit, but I have heard it. Do you want to know my experiences or the band experiences?
Let's start with you, and then if the band has, I think I've heard the band though, but tell us about you.
Oh, okay. Well, when I was young, I know that I've seen and experienced some stuff.
Bringing back memories, man.
Yeah, it is.
Oh.
Okay, so my grandmother lives in Mexico when she was alive. And Gabby, you probably know if you've been to Mexico, there's some creepy shit that can go on down there.
Mm-hmm.
People are just as spiritual and they believe in a lot of stuff. There's a lot of witchcraft. Mm-hmm. Apparently I had an aunt that was into witchcraft, is from what I heard. So that's another story we have to get into later. But
Me too.
yeah.
It's pretty common.
Yeah.
It's like a combination between Catholicism, like archetypes, and I forget what's the official name for that type of.
Santeria.
There it is.
There it is.
Yeah.
Bingo. That's it. Yeah. So I just remember when I was a kid, because like back in the day, I remember going to funerals, and like when someone died in our family, the Mexican heritage is very known to like have funerals like in the home. So my family down there owns like a body shop, like an auto body shop. And in the auto body shop, there have been a lot of funerals there. And I just remember like one night, one of my uncles passed away, and they had his like viewing there. So his body was there for like a couple of days. And we were staying literally in the house, right next to it. And like, when you look out the window, that was like the view. You could see his casket out there. And I was man. It's kind of spooky for me. So I just remember going up the stairs, and it was an outdoor type of stair, atrium kind of situation. And I walked up, and I swear I felt the hairs on my arms go up, and I got kind of scared, and I was like, what the fuck, what's going on? I heard something in that direction where my uncle's body was laying. I thought I saw something, but I don't remember if I really did see it or not. You know, I was like, I was like, what the fuck? Did I really just see something, or was that just, is it all in my head, you know? And I was still young, so I wasn't really sure what to take from that. So I think I saw like a mass, like something like, I don't know if it was an orb or a mass. It was something that kind of flew by. And I was like, oh shit, you know? And then I just ran in the house. And I told my mom, and she was like, oh, you know, maybe you did see something, but I don't know, you know, we can't confirm that. And so, yeah, there's just things like that that I know that have happened in that house. And then as I got older, I have experienced some stuff. So I'm going to go, even in my house recently, well, I wouldn't say recently, not too long ago, I heard a noise and I was like, what the fuck was that? Like I heard like a noise coming from the kitchen. And I just sat there and I'm like, I don't even want to get up and look because I just don't want to, like, I don't even want to like get into that. I don't want to even do it. So yeah, dude, my dog even like her head popped up and I was like,
oh shit.
Just ignore it. Don't worry about it. Well, I mean, because the house that I live in, this my friends own it. And you know, this is his like childhood home, and his dad died here. So that's the thing. It's like we haven't really witnessed or had anything bad happen. I think his dad name was Ed. It's a cool dude. So we're always like, hey Ed, what's up? If that's you, you know, hi, keep it cool, you know, don't fuck with us. We're like, you know, I mean, I think he likes us that we're here. So that's another story there. And then what else?
So what was in the kitchen? Did you go?
I just looked and I'm like, what? I can't figure out what the fuck it was. I just don't know where that noise came from. It was really weird.
What if someone's freaking breaking in your house?
No, dude, no. I was like, no, there's no way. I just remember walking in, like after I looked, I'm like, what was that? Did something fall? Like it was like a
bang.
Like when you hear something move in a cover kind of thing.
Oh, fuck that.
That's what it sounded like. And I was like, what the fuck was that?
Of something specific or doing anything at that moment?
What's that?
Were you thinking of something specific or doing anything at that moment when the noise came about?
No, man. I was just sitting there watching TV and then I heard that noise and I was like,
what were you watching?
I don't even remember. I don't think that's the thing. I watch a lot of fucked up shit. Like I love scary movies. I love gore. I watch too much of that stuff. I love 48 Hours. I'm all into that fucking murder mystery shit. I watch a lot of that stuff. So I just watched Slasher. Did you guys on Netflix? Did you guys see that?
No. Have to check it out.
Okay. There's 3 seasons of it apparently, so I've already watched them all. So pretty crazy, guys. I got a sick brain sometimes. I love that shit. So I'm all about this scary stuff. Like with our band, like I think Jenny hates it. Like I try to scare her and she gets mad at me. She doesn't believe in that shit. She hates it. Me and Stacy are the only ones that like, I don't think Jenny will even watch a scary movie. Like I'm going to trick her and make her watch a scary movie one night, and don't tell her I said that, but she's going to have to watch it. Like every time, like if we share a hotel room and I'm like, ooh, a scary movie. Like I'll turn it on and she's like, she'll go to bed or she'll just turn the other way if she doesn't want to watch it. It's so funny. But me and Stacy love it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We love scary shit.
What
and
about
she'll be
Lynn?
like, that wasn't fucking scary. I'm like, you kidding me? That was great. And she's like, that wasn't scary. And I'm like, she's the tough one to please on the scary shit. So I'm trying to think as a band thing. So we were in NOLA, and you know NOLA is a very spiritual city, lots of stuff happened in NOLA. I don't know if you guys have been there, but if you haven't, you guys should check it out. It's a pretty cool town. There's a lot of history there, and you can feel it too when you're in that town. You just feel that. You feel it. You just feel it. I don't know what it is, but we've been there a few times and we felt it. So one of our friends was living there, and we stayed with her one night. I do remember this occurrence. Like we were all ready to go to bed and hanging out. Like so, some of us were sleeping in the living room, and I think Stacy was in her bed. And we were kind of all winding down, and I can hear them two talking in the bed, and they're giggling, hey, talking. And then all of a sudden we're just like, I was just laughing at what they were laughing at. So I'm over here laughing at their stuff from the living room. It's really funny. And then, it was quiet for like a second. And then all of a sudden we heard and I was like, what the fuck was that? And I just heard a shush, literally a shush. And I'm all, was that you guys? And they're like, no, we thought that was you. And I'm like, no, I wouldn't have been shushing you guys like that. So I should have been, but it wasn't me. So, and Jenny was passed out. And I think Lynn was kind of like, I don't know if I think Lynn was kind of passed out too. So I was still awake. And Stacy and our friend Lizzie were still awake. And we heard the big shut. And I was like, that's fucking crazy. So I asked, they were like, oh, my friend Liz is like, oh, I think that's old man. I forgot what his name was. She goes, I think that's the old man that used to live here that did that. And I was like, what? And I was like, so we just kind of were all like kind of freaked out for a minute, and we're just waiting to see if anything else would happen. And she had a cat too, a black cat. So it's like, thanks for the warning, cat. Nothing happened. So yeah, because cats are supposed to scare bad spirits off, from what I heard.
Or at least see them. Like
yeah. And I was just like, this fucking cat's just sitting there in the bed, didn't even know, or like nothing. I don't know what the hell happened. So then later she tells us the story that I guess some old man lived in that house that I think died there and haunts it. And I'm like, oh, you now you tell us, after the fact. So
well, sure, you can stay over. Cool.
Yeah. No. And we've stayed there several times. There was another time that I stayed there and I slept in the bed with her, and I heard like this big old like knock. I heard like this big old thump in her house, and I was like, "Oh fuck, is that old man again?" And she's like, but there was another time on tour. So like, I don't know if you guys you've heard of Tombstone, right? Like we went to Tombstone one time. So there was another tour story. We went through Tombstone, and we had a day off, and we're excited because, we love doing shit like that, and especially going into a little town that has like all this nostalgic shit in it. So we're like, oh, cool, Tombstone, like the movie, like love it, And so we were hanging out there, and people were telling stories like, oh yeah, OK Corral, like that shit went down here, like people died here. And I was like, oh great. Yeah. And this was before, like, I don't know if you guys watch Ghost Adventures and shit like that, but I'm into that show a lot. I like anything that has anything about any type of ghost stories or paranormal activity. I love it. I'm all over it. I'll watch it, So Zach Barron's, the guy from that show, did an episode there, but I think this happened after I was there. So we went there a couple years ago, and we did, there's a place called the Birdcage there that's like the museum for Tombstone.
Yeah.
So like we did the tour, and I just remember being in that one big room where it had like the stagecoach, and like there was coffins in the corner, and it had just like a bunch of stuff in there, a bunch of stuff to look at. So I went from that corner to the other corner, and I'm in there with my friend AJ, and I don't think any other girls were in there, but I'm just checking shit out, and it was really quiet. And all of a sudden I hear this thump come from that corner, from wherever those coffins or stagecoach was at. And I turn around and was like, did you fucking hear that? So I was like, did you guys fucking hear that? Did anyone hear that? And I was like, I heard the thump. And I was like, oh shit. And I kind of was like, I'm not going to talk to the spirit or whatever, but I was kind of like, can you do that again? Like, can you do that again? See if am I hearing things, or if that really did happen. But it didn't happen again. But my buddy was like, I fucking heard that. I'm like, okay, good. He's like, yeah, I fucking heard that. I fucking heard that too. He's like, dude, it came from that corner. And I was like, oh, fuck. I'm like, wow, this place is kind of active, and it's daytime. That's crazy. So when we were exiting and we did the tour, there was this girl that works in the gift shop. And I asked her, I said, is there like, activity here? Like, have you felt or heard anything? And she goes, oh yeah, all the time. And I'm all, how long have you worked here? She goes, I've worked here for 5 years, and I've seen and I've heard stuff. I've been pulled, I've been grabbed, I've seen orbs, I hear a bunch of stuff. I'm all, well, okay, because I heard something in there earlier. And she goes, yeah, you probably did. It's a normal occurrence here. And I'm like, oh fuck, okay, cool.
What's interesting is these past couple stories you said both have thumps, and you're a drummer. So these ghosts are trying to connect with you by a beat.
Thump, thump.
Whoa.
Stop fucking with me, Angela.
Putting it together over here.
Yeah.
Telling
So
you.
that's the thing. And I have I just remember another occurrence when I was younger. Me and my friend used to play with the Ouija board a lot.
Oh God.
And
Hi, Mika. Hi, Mika.
I'm with you, girl. I've done it.
Yeah.
Real
terrible, huh? Terrible.
Scary
Fuck.
to this day. Let's hear it.
Do you guys play with that shit?
No.
I haven't
played
done
with the Ouija
No,
board.
I ain't fucking
I
touching
did,
that.
and there's past episodes that I've talked about it. Me and you will talk offline about my experience, but I am curious about your Ouija board.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Oh.
We're Mexican, dude. You can't fuck with that.
Apparently we can, you know what I'm saying? All right. So when we were kids, we used to play with that, and I just remember we like reached somebody that was very evil and mean, and we got spooked, we got scared. I don't remember the question, but we're like, is there anyone, was there anyone here with us? And then it was like, yes. And I was like, oh, fuck, what's your name? And then it starts like doing the name. And we're like, I don't know this person. Do you know this person? So, yeah, it was, dude, okay.
What was the name?
Hold a second. It's really fucking weird that I just started talking about that. My printer starts fucking moving and making noise right now.
Oh, is that what I just heard right now?
I heard it too.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard a noise. I didn't know what it was.
That was my printer going. It was fucking doing weird shit, and I don't know
printing,
why
dude?
it would even be
Don't
doing that.
see what it says. Maybe it's
No. Apparently, it's on. I guess it's always been on. Dude, that's weird.
It's printing like I'm still here.
Yeah, fuck you, bitch. I'm here.
It's trying to make music
Fuck.
to you.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah.
So
I don't ever use that printer. Okay, that's really weird because this used to be my cat's room. This is my office. So my cat would sleep in here, and she passed away like last October.
Aww.
So who knows? I don't know. Anyways, all right. All this ghost talk got moving over here.
We'll finish the story.
yeah.
Okay, so we just were asking it a bunch of stuff, being dumb kids, and we just were getting really bad vibes from this thing, and like we were outdoors, so it wasn't really like we were, I don't know, we were kind of dumb at it and like not sure. We should have been inside the house, but I was like, that was like in front of my house. I'm like, I'm not going in my fucking house and doing this. We're doing it outside.
No, that's smart.
So yeah, so we were just getting all these weird like just stuff, and then it started acting crazy, and then I don't remember because we were so young, but it said something fucked up to us that some of my friends freaked out and was like, fuck this, and they threw the board. And then I guess we tried to like throw it away because we didn't want none of our parents to know we were playing with the Ouija board, and we didn't want to bring it in our house. So we tried to break it and burn it, dude, and it wouldn't fucking do neither.
I've heard that.
You can't burn that thing. It won't burn.
Yeah, I've heard stories of like people trying to burn it and getting rid of it and then coming back to their house and like the ashes being in their house. Or shit like that. Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I got chills right now. Yeah.
I didn't experience that, but I do remember us trying to burn it and break it, and we couldn't do it. So we just like left it in the fucking trash and ran.
So the other times that you didn't, I mean, that was a pretty intense, session, but it sounds like you did it quite often. I only did it the once and got freaked the fuck out. Do you have any other stories from that?
I can't really remember, but I think we did it in my friend's house, and there was just some areas like I when you get into that thing, you can just really contact the wrong spirit. So
yeah.
I don't think we contacted anybody at his house, but I do remember my friend, we went to her house. We didn't do the Ouija board there. She was like, I'm not doing that here. But there was another method to contact spirits back in the day. We used to call it sticks. I don't know if you guys remember that, but you would get like, you would get these type of sticks, and they were kind of curved. You would curve it, and they were kind of like, you make them, they look like wands. So what you would do is you would hold the tip of it, and you would have it positioned in a certain way, and you would start, like, you would hold it together and these things would move if you would ask it stuff. It's crazy. But we used to call it sticks.
So, yeah, like these little wand things.
That's kind of like,
yeah.
It's kind of like the idea of pendulums too. Mm-hmm. You could do that with like necklaces or pendulums. So ask it yes or no questions and it moves. Same kind of.
And that's what we did. Yeah. So we were at my friend's house, and the history at that house is my friend's mom. They still live there today, which is crazy. It's in Pedro, and it's like, I don't know if you guys ever heard of Sunken City. We have a place called Sunken City out here. Well, their house is like right on that, right next to that area. So their house is right there. You know, the view is the ocean. It's a beautiful view. They just live there. It's kind of like to the point. It's on the point. Near Sunken City in Pedro. So like, I guess some old man lived there back in the day, and he passed away. He was on hospice and he had cancer, but his view, they would put his, from what I heard, his hospital bed would be right there in a big window overlooking the ocean. Like that's where he ended his last of, his days. That's where he stayed every day. So he passed away, I guess, in that house. So somehow we made connection with him and we contacted him. We were like, oh, fuck. And so when we were there, my friend's parents were home. So we were doing it and the TV was on, I don't know why we had the TV on, but what's a trip is, like those kind of things like energy. I don't know if you guys have heard that or known that, but, yeah, spirits like to suck up a lot of energy. Like we have energy, and like TV, things like that have energy. So it was really weird. We were talking to this spirit, I guess, I think his name was Ed as well. It was weird. And then we were like, did you die here? And then the sticks would move and it'd be like, yes. Or if it moved at this like left direction, it would move right or left. Or if they I guess there was a way, I don't remember, but one meant yes, no, be no, something like that. So we knew like it was telling us like yes, and then it was doing no, and then they're like, "Are you still here? Like, is there anybody else that died here?" And they would say no, and then it was like when it said like, "Are you still here?" Like, Ed, is that you? It was weird. It like touched in the middle, and then the TV fucking went off, dude.
Oh man,
damn. Yeah, so back in the day we had those big TVs, right? Yeah, so my friend's mom had the big TV, and we had it on, and the thing just went, choom! It just fucking turned off. So when that happened, we all just looked at each other and was like, oh, we ran out of the house, and we just stayed out there forever. Didn't want to go back in the house. We were all spooked out. We spooked each other out. That's another ghost story I remember. But
well, they do say that like ghosts are definitely attracted to different like you said, the energy of computers or televisions and things like that. So
yeah,
it's just another.
I watch a lot of Ghost Adventures. I see that shit a lot on that show. Like, whatever entity or whatever power, or oars or since anything that might be haunting a place, like I hear that they adapt a lot to electricity. So these guys were in there doing their investigation, and all their phones were like dead.
Yeah,
they're like, oh, dude, my phone's dead. They're like, what? Mine too. So it's like this, whatever this was, sucked up all the energy, and it was sucking up the energy from their cameras, from their lights, from their cell phones, and all that shit. And I was like, well, that's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy.
It's interesting because I did do this photo shoot once, and my batteries kept dying. And the person I photoed, she was of the witchy nature, with a good witchy nature, but she just looked at me and smiled. She goes, well, there might have been a ghost, because I think she saw like certain activity. But yeah, like energy of the cameras. But if you think about it, if it does that to all these devices, how that impacts you subconsciously, like energetically too, when you're around those things. But I mean,
well, that's the thing. Like sometimes I don't think people realize or notice it. Like when I watch these ghost stories and I see like Zach or these people feeling like I don't feel so good, or I feel dizzy, or I feel tired, or I'm like, I think about those times when I might have experienced something like, did I feel that? Because I don't remember. You don't remember. I see people like I've seen like where people pass out, or they're just so like, I don't know, they're taken by that whatever entity or that energy is. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, that's kind of crazy. I don't think I've ever felt that though. That's for sure. I'm glad.
I remember when I would there was like this abandoned jail that I had access to, and over years, me and a group of photographers, we would document it. But I just remember some of them had heard and saw activity. I never saw it, but I felt a lot. And afterwards, like I was wiped, fucking drained after every time I would go there, you know, because there's just so much just heavy stuff. I mean, it was a jail, abandoned jail.
Oh,
only abandoned.
Yeah. One of my first jobs when I worked at a city hall here in Pedro, and I worked in that building, and on the top floor there was a jail there. And I remember I was probably about 15. This was like one of my first real jobs. I went with this girl up there and this other guy, and we're like, hey, want to go up to the jail? So we're like, you know, they're like, yeah, let's go check it out, because we heard it was up there, but none of us had time to go to explore it, or we were too scared to go do it on our own. So I was like, let's go up there and check it out. And I remember we went up there, and the elevator door opens, and the first thing you see is like the jail cell. You see the bars, and I mean, just alone like that, like the way that obviously they weren't keeping it up, like the paint was already peeling off the walls and stuff. It looked pretty crazy. So that's the first thing you see when the elevator door opens. We were all just standing there going, fuck. We're like, fuck this. I ain't getting out and exploring. And so we like press the button and try to close the door and get the fuck out of there. But like, yeah, that was the only time I can remember like being spooked out before we even know what we were going to be, you know, checking out. So I do remember that from that moment, seeing that jail. And then I see all these ghost adventures on jails and places like that. It's like fucking crazy, man. The stuff that happened in a lot of those places.
Yeah.
So,
dude, I'm gonna send you something when we disconnect or whatever. I'm gonna send you this. We recently discovered this guy named Steve Huff, who's based out of Surprise, Arizona, and he connects with a lot of spirits. And his videos creep me the fuck out. Like,
they're creepy.
And I can watch Ghost Adventures. I can watch all that stuff.
Yeah.
But these ones, like the stuff he's gotten on video and connecting, it freaks me out. So I'm gonna send it to you so you can check it out.
Right on. I love it.
Yeah,
it's good stuff.
Yeah, crazy. I just recently saw. Have you guys been to Zach Barron's like place in Vegas where he has all that stuff on display?
I wanted to, but you have to sign a disclaimer, don't you? Like, fuck, man. Yeah.
I'm not doing that either. I went, me and my dude went, and we were gonna do it, and then we chickened out, man, because we were like, we heard about that, and we heard about the disclaimer, and it says, if anything attaches to you or whatever, and I was like, fuck that. I was like, do you guys know what he has in that place? I was like, no, dude. So we chickened out, and I was just like, I'm not gonna do it. I don't think I am.
I follow that page on Facebook, and he posts like every other day, like just weird shit that happens there. And apparently, like this last week, some lady passed out after some orb like
flew right by her.
Yeah, flew by her, and she just dropped, and it's all on video and shit, like crazy.
Yeah, I saw the video. of that. And I was like, holy shit! There's a fucking orb right there. Went right through her. And
and then she's like,
out.
boom.
I was like,
out. Yeah. Nope.
And not too. Yeah, nope. Not gonna do it. Yep. And then not too long ago, I guess he had an incident where he got like a chair from somewhere.
Yeah, the devil's chair or something.
Yeah, the devil's chair, dude.
Yeah.
And people were in there, and the door opened by itself.
And someone else had a seizure too. Some other lady had a seizure.
But what's the trip is that those people experienced that in that room, and the lady that had a seizure was upstairs from that room. They weren't even in that room. They were upstairs. So that's how strong. And then when you see that video, because there's video of it too, you see all these orbs just flying all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
You see them flying all over the hallway.
Yeah, you gotta follow that page, man. He posts like crazy shit.
Man. Oh boy. Okay.
Post Malone like touched something at the museum or whatever, and then like it attached itself to him.
I saw about it, but I didn't click on it.
Yeah.
Oh, so he did go into that museum?
I guess he touched something that you weren't supposed to touch.
Yeah, don't touch it.
No.
Yeah, don't touch it. No way. No way. My friend went there and she's really like, she loves ghost horror and all that shit. And she went to that. She actually to it. And I sent her that link. I'm like, did you know about this? She goes, no, that wasn't there when we were there. And I was like, yeah, but she did it. And so she said she was fine. Everything was fine. I'm like, thank God. So I don't know. Some are lucky, I guess, and some aren't. I just, I don't think I will do it though.
It's just like, I mean, I love it, but there's certain lines that I draw. Like, I won't go and see that Annabelle doll. Like, I won't do it. I had a Raggedy Ann growing up that my mama made me. Don't ruin it for me.
Is that
Annabelle, right? Isn't it Annabelle with the Raggedy Ann doll?
Is that at the museum?
It probably is.
Yeah.
I mean,
he buys all kinds of shit.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, that movie's out. That movie. Have you seen the movie?
Not yet.
No.
Like, I love ghost stuff, but I don't really into horror movies as much anymore. Like, they scare the shit out of me. So it's like, it's either or. So I'll just do the real ghost stuff. And not like scary stuff. I don't know. I'm weird.
She doesn't like traumatized. She just wants
I used to though, and then I don't know what happened. I just don't want to be scared by myself. So.
I like
but I watch ghost shows by myself and like all day, every day. So it's kind of weird.
That is weird. Yeah, right. What's the difference in a movie?
Right.
You know?
Well, in a movie, they're like stabbing you. You know, like.
True.
Yeah, you know,
a lot more crazier. A movie. Yeah.
I guess it's more real. Well,
I see what you're saying.
Humans.
Yeah.
Freaking.
So what about, besides ghost stories, like, what about UFOs, Sasquatch, any other?
Oh, snap. Okay, so not too long ago, in this last tour, we were in Milwaukee. We were loading out of it was called the X-Ray Club. That's Nick's club, the singer from Direct Hit. He owns that place or whatever, or runs it. So we were unloading, like we were taking the gear out to the van and loading out with War on Women. And then I just remember coming out and seeing this big thing glowing in the sky. And Jenny was like, oh, look at that firework. I looked at her and I was like, I don't think that's a firework, Jenny, because it's not making any noise. It's not like making a boom, or you don't see like the after, like you don't hear, like it's not fizzing. It's nothing. It's just this big glowing, like it was blue and green, and it just was going. I'm like, that's not a fucking meteor, right? That's not a falling star. And I just remember we saw it and then it went away. And even fucking Brooks from War on Women was like, did you guys see that? I'm like, yeah, I fucking saw that. Did anyone else see that? We're all standing there going, did you guys see that? Did you guys see that? And it was just like the three of us were the only ones who saw that. Everybody else was too busy loading in and out stuff that nobody saw it. But we just saw like this blue green thing going across the sky. And then it disappeared. It looked like this big bubble, you know?
It seems like you're always stuck in that situation. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, I'm not kidding. We saw that. I don't know what the fuck it was, but I do not think that was normal. Like something was going on out there. And I was like, that was not a firework, Jenny. And she goes, oh, weird, huh? And I was like, yeah. You would I'm like, dude, you know, because fireworks go up and you hear them and you see it. I'm like, that was not a firework, dude. I don't know what the fuck that was, but that was not normal.
It's similar to what Kat said she had, like, one of our other episodes, like she had talked about a UFO sighting, but it was like glittery gold, you know, sparkle. Something similar to what you're saying, but a different color.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I know one time we were in New Mexico. We were going through New Mexico, and me and my driver, we were up. I was up with him. It was really late. Everybody else was passed out in the van. I did recall we saw these 3 lights up in the sky, and they were like,
pretty, man.
Yeah, really bright green. Yeah. And I was like, what? We were like, what is that? You know, we're just looking. And he was like fucking stoned. You know, I'm not stoned, but I was like, we're like, what is that? He goes, I don't know. What the fuck? is that a UFO, dude? Are those UFOs? We were like, holy shit. But you could see it, and it didn't look normal. It didn't look like a star or anything. Like, you just saw these 3 fucking things up in the sky, and I don't know what it was. And then I didn't see them anymore. And then I remember we pulled over at the gas station in New Mexico, and I went in and I told this lady, oh man, we just saw these lights up in the sky. And she goes, oh yeah, I'm pretty sure you probably saw a UFO. And I'm like, no way. And we're like, no fucking way. And I'm like, for reals? That shit really does. She's like, oh yeah, lots of weird shit happens out here. I wouldn't be surprised. I've seen it. And I'm like, huh. What? So that made my mind go, what the fuck? So we probably saw something. We don't know what it was, but there was something out there for sure. I must say though, I have not seen a Sasquatch though. That's definitely, I'm always like, when I go to the mountains or when I go like, we go somewhere like that, I'm always hoping we're going to see something like that, but we have yet to see anything like that. So
there's still time.
There is time, and they might be still out there. Right.
Right.
So
somewhere across the road late at night, you see it running across.
When you're drunk.
I don't know. When we're drunk, huh?
He's going to be playing the drums. He's going to have a little drum that he's playing on. This one's for you, Myra.
We did play. Oh yeah, this one's for you. Yeah. We did play a couple of venues that were creepy that we thought they were haunted, but we didn't really experience anything except that they were just creepy. One of them was called The Office. I think it's in Toronto. I'm not sure, but we were playing there with the Interrupters, and that place was pretty creepy. The green room was upstairs, and I fucked up and thought it was downstairs. So they have like this downstairs basement.
Oh no!
I went down. I'm like, where did everybody go? And I'm walking around, and I went to go look for the green room to put our shit down. And I went, oh, I guess it's down here. So there was like a lit downstairs area, and you go down, and it's like creaky fucking wood like stairs. So I go down there, and I was like, nope. The only thing I saw down there was like it was like an old fucking like Pepsi cooler, like a Pepsi, one of those old school type like freezers down there, and the light was on. And then on to the left there was like a room with all like I walked over there. I was like, what the fuck is this? I know the green room's not here, but this is crazy. What is this? And there was just like a bunch of stored shit from back in the day there, and pieces of wood and all that, and it was just creepy. And it smelled bad down there. You know, it smelled like wet fucking concrete. And I was like, okay, so this isn't the green room. So I walked back upstairs and I'm like, where's this green room? And then I was like, okay, I'm going to go the other way. So I went upstairs. So I go upstairs and I go into this room, and I finally, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Everybody's up here. And I was kind of like tripping. So I go into the main room, and we were in there for like a couple of minutes. And then all of a sudden the lights just went off. And I do remember that. And it happened quite a bit when we were in there. And I remember the fucking wall art that they had in there was all fucking dicks and cocks and penises on the fucking wall there. And I'm like, oh, this is the dick room, obviously, the dick wall. And this is the thing we do in our band. Like, if it's just a bunch of dicks on the wall, we have Jenny go paint a vagina in there, or like draw a vagina just to, show them what's up. Yeah, it's like, fuck all your penises. Where's the vagina? So she goes and draws a vagina. So anyways, so we see that, and we're like, okay. So then it happened 5 more times that we were in there. The light kept going off and on. And we were like, okay, should we be alarmed? Like, is anyone noticing this? I'm the only one that kind of thinks that way. Everyone else is like, oh, the light just keeps shutting off. Like they're not going to get scared, I guess. So what was weird, we went and one of them told the guy, like, can you guys fix the light? Like, we're trying to change and get ready up here. And they're like, I'm trying to, but it's not, I don't know what's going on. It's not staying on. And we're like, I'm like, is that an occurrence here? Like, does this happen? And they're like, not really. And I'm like, okay, well, that's weird. So what's funny is, like, we're walking around there checking this place out, and there was like a little room, and I didn't know Amy was in there, like, doing her makeup. So she was in that room. And we walked in and we spooked each other. We're like, oh, fuck, Amy, we didn't know you were in here. She's like, yeah, dude, I came in here to get ready because the lights kept going off in there. And I'm like, no shit, you experienced the lights going out? She goes, yeah. So she went in there and turned on her little makeup light and just started doing her makeup and was in there just fucking doing her makeup in this little creepy room. And we're like, whoa, this is crazy. And I told her, yeah, we're like, yeah. I was like, Amy, I'm really surprised you're in here. She goes, yeah, this place is giving me the creeps. It's kind of creepy. She thought, you know what though? Like, check this out. And then she shows us, there was like 3 passports and a couple of IDs from people that she found that were left there. And we were like, we all were like, where did you find us? She goes, dude, they were up here. They were in this room. And I'm like, really? I'm like, so we're the fucking dead, we're the bodies, you know? I'm like, I bet you they're downstairs, you know? I'm like, wait a minute. Like, how is it that you found these passports and these fucking IDs of people up here? Yeah, so we were tripping. We were all like,
yeah.
Like,
Did you guys keep the names or Google them?
They were.
And where's
you
the
know
random,
what? No.
Where's
we
the
should've.
random
But-
creepy guy that comes up? They died 84 years ago.
No, dude, the bodies were stuffed in that Pepsi cooler.
Yeah, probably. Dude.
Yeah, right? Who fucking knows, dude?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, that place was fucking creepy, guys. And that, I remember that experience when we were there. But I was like, whose IDs and who's fucking like, how were they left behind? And they just thought they would freak people out and throw them up there, you know, in the green room, you know? So yeah, they were there. So we don't know whatever came out of that. So yeah, we should have done more, but we didn't have time. We should have done more investigating of that shit. But we were afraid to ask. We're like, hey, whose are these? Like, where did these come from, you know?
And they never saw Bad Cop again.
Yeah, right?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so we left that alone and just were like, okay, I hope nothing bad happened to these people and I hope they're alive. But yeah, there's their stuff. So it was kind of weird. But other than that, yeah, that's one of the creepy moments from a club. I'm sure we've been through many of them, but I don't remember like anything else crazy happening. We've played very, very old buildings and venues and clubs, especially in Europe, man. Like, yeah, there's a lot of spooky places we've played, but I do not remember any other bad occurrences happening other than that.
That's good then. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Woo! 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 Yeah.
Dude, yeah, dude, you should have seen your face when your printer went off. Like, you looked like legit scared. Like, you were like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I was like, what the fuck? It's going off. No
That
joke.
should happen with like Go Betty Go, like some random, like it was some random noise in the background, but it was only when we were talking about ghost shit.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Because
Yeah.
Where were
that's
they, though?
they were at
They were at home.
home, but that's, I don't know, that I mean, it's a common theme that we talk with our, guests and everything is this. So it's really interesting that
Little spooky.
these things happen when we have those concepts.
Little
so.
spookies.
Little spooky.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you know the story behind like their house? Like what's up with their place
Yes.
or anything?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yeah?
I'll send you that video, too, dude.
It's
oh,
crazy.
man.
Yeah.
There's video.
I think I seen a video they posted, but I don't know the
spooky.
whole story behind it. So I was just kind of like, is there bad stuff there? Like,
Yeah. There's our episode because it's with Aisa and Nicolette. Sorry, that's how we pronounce her name now.
Aisa. Yeah, nice.
So, but yeah, they get into it. It's super crazy. So if you ever get a moment, but we can send you like some clips and stuff of it. But it's pretty crazy about at least the past place that Nicolette stayed at. So
Yeah.
shit got real. And even
Oh,
their
yeah.
cabin.
Oh,
and
yeah.
their
Do
cabin.
they still live there?
She doesn't live in that particular house, but they do own a cabin where that's been said to have some other sightings.
There's a video.
Yeah, there's a video. It's one of their videos, so you can kind of.
We should all go stay there one night.
Dude, that's what I said.
That's
No.
what I said too.
I said that. We should do, like,
Not
the
with that
girl-
video, dude. That's
girls
like
Yeah,
like-
Gabby's all scared. What the
no,
fuck, Gabby?
dude. Fucking watch the video. That's like some fucking black demon thing.
Woo! Okay.
But I always say, I mean, no disrespect to any spirits or anything else. I respect everything, just throwing it out there. But we are,
Throwing it out to the
On
universe.
and-
No,
yeah.
I'm not here to fuck with any
no,
of you.
yes,
Cool.
I respect everything. But I
Yeah.
mean, we are on a Native American burial ground. So, I mean, that random shit's going to come up everywhere in my mind.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
Like that's unfortunately sad, the basis of the birth of our country. So, I mean, there's fucked up shit everywhere. You can, on the streets, or where there's random passports and a crazy old venue, like, you know. Like,
yeah, right? I mean, there's so many, like, crazy shit that happens. Like, people get killed in places. Like, hello, you don't think it's going to haunt? Yeah, later, you know.
People get confused. Those get confused.
I do remember one time after my buddy passed, he died in his home. You know, he had cancer and he was dying. So he was in hospice at home. After he died and then they took his body away, I remember we were in their kitchen and one of the lights just kind of like went from dim to bright. It like flickered. It like, and we were like, what the fuck was that? And then my friend, who was his wife, was like, Daryl, was that you? And then, so we think it was him. Other than that, like, it wasn't like a bad thing. We were just kind of not really expecting that. And we were just like, oh shit, like, what? Whoa, did you see the light just do that? And we kind of got spooked a bit, but we were like, okay, D, if that's you, don't fuck with us, dude. Cause he liked to fuck with us in real life. So it was like, all right, dude, we're cool, right? Like, don't fuck with us anymore. That's all you're gonna do from now on, right? You know, every time we're in this house, like, I don't want to fucking see nothing else spooky from you, dude.
Just wanted to say hi.
Yeah,
awesome.
That's funny because me and Gabby were talking. We're like, if one of us dies, we need to like come up with a sign now. That way we know it's the other one, like saying, "Hey,
they're so cute."
And we did.
Oh, that's awesome. And don't tell anyone what that sign is. You can't.
Well, did you guys decide like what you're gonna do?
I think so.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, maybe.
You're like, I'm gonna pull your sheets. That's me.
If I pass, I'm definitely gonna come and say what's up by making some kind of beats or music for you, Myra. That's what I'll do.
Or just random flashes.
There you go. Random flash photography.
Scare the shit out of me.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, like the fucking flash is going off in my face.
You're like, jeez, Angela.
Oh, fucking Angela, dude. I'm like, just give me a beat, girl. Just give me a beat. Just give me a thump, you know? I'll know it's you.
That's awesome.
Thump 3 times and I know it's you.
There you go. Yeah. All right, Myra, real quick here, go ahead and plug your social media and where people can find your music.
You can find our music on iTunes, Spotify, Bandcamp, through Fat Records, and also I guess we're on Pandora. We even have like, I think, a channel or something. I was like, oh shit, Bad Cop channel? What? Like, I mean, we don't have that many songs, so it's kind of funny. I'm like, but it also plays like other people that are kind of similar or kind of sound like us, I guess. So that's kind of cool. We're on there as well. So, and we're on YouTube, apparently. A lot of YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
So, and we're also on Instagram at Bad Cop Band. We're on Facebook, Bad Cop. Twitter, we're on Twitter as at BC Music, because when we tried to, I guess, put Bad Cop, it was already taken. So we weren't able to use that for Twitter. So we have at BC Music on Twitter.
Awesome.
I think that's all of them, right? I think that's all the social media stuff. I can't think of anything else. We used to use Snapchat, but I think we stopped using that for a while.
I mean, you're the one doing it, so if you can't think of it,
I'm not doing that one. I actually gave that job to Lynn because she loves the snaps. You know, she loved to do Snapchat. I don't know if you guys follow her, but she's pretty funny with like putting stories about her with like those bunny ears and all that shit. She fucking loves doing that stuff. It's crazy. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Myra.
Thank you so much, Myra. It was so much fun hanging out with you.
Mama Myra.
Yeah, for sure. Great seeing you guys. Mama.
Story time with Mama Myra.
Yeah. We'll definitely see you here, live pretty soon.
Oh, yeah.
At the Rebel Lounge.
Okay.
With
That's right.
Some other.
We'll be back in Arizona. It's been a minute.
Gonna be hot.
And Arizona loves you guys. So we're excited. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, we can't wait to be back. Oh, is the Rebel Lounge still the same, or did it change? Or
remodeled?
It's remodeled. It's the same though.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the sound still, we were just talking about it earlier. The sound's still on point.
Yes.
It's got decent stage lighting. Like all the good stuff about it's the same.
Yeah.
They just changed a little the interior and exterior parts. But yeah, still legit.
Oh, dude, and I'm playing a song with you guys.
You are?
Wouldn't that be funny if Drea didn't actually talk to any of the band members? And
Nobody told me anything, right?
This is her
I'm
crazy
just going to
line
say
here.
the drummer is kind of always the last person
No.
to know. I'm just saying. That's all right, though. What song? Or is it a secret?
No, I don't know. I kind of asked Jenny today.
You Are My Sunshine?
One of my favorite songs. Awesome.
Great.
Yeah.
It really isn't, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, you asked Jenny today? That's
Yeah,
funny. Okay.
I kind of ran it by her today. She was like, "Fuck yeah, you should play a song with us." I'm like, "Okay, cool. We'll see."
All right.
We'll find out at the day of the
see.
show.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out. Stay tuned.
And I know what angles to get in there
Yeah.
and shoot Myra now, you know.
All right.
I'll try to maintain the bubble.
I'm going to give you that look, Angela. Like,
yes. Awesome.
and then when you're in my face, I'll just go, make out those faces.
Perfect.
I know to do that. Every time photographers, I see their camera, I make a face at them.
I love it when you do that. And of course, it's the moment where I'm like, why isn't my shit working for me right now? Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks again, Myra.
Yeah, thank you. dude.
Gracias.
Yeah, did I take too much of your time? I hope I didn't.
No, it's perfect.
perfect.
Awesome.
Jinx.
All right, cool.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, guys. Have a good night. I'll see you
Bye-bye.
soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, thanks to Myra for Bad Cop, Bad Cop for joining us on this episode. Make sure you head over to the Instagram, check out their music on iTunes and Spotify. Support the ladies. We love Bad Cop. Remember to head over to our website, soundsistersaz.com, to view and listen to previous podcasts. While you're over there, if you're in a band, submit your music to us. We're going to start playing underground music from more local bands and bands that you haven't heard of. So go over to soundsistersaz.com, submit your stuff to us, and we'll check it out. Go to the Facebook and like us. Instagram to follow us at SoundSistersAZ. Check us out on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play. And, of course, thank you to everybody who's followed us from day one. Your support means everything to us.
We appreciate you.
We
being
appreciate
here.
it. Yeah, no, we really do. We see the
Yeah, we
numbers,
do.
and you guys
Yeah.
are still listening, even though we've been on a hiatus.
Yeah.
since-
Yeah,
crazy.
And we do apologize for that unofficial hiatus. We definitely ghosted you, but it was. We promised to be more
busy.
regular, and we were doing stuff, productive stuff together, which we will get into on the next Venomous Pinks episode.
Yeah. So on that note, we're gonna play actually a new song from Gabby Chaos's project.
Mm-hmm.
What's this one called?
It's called Even Worth It. And then hopefully in the next few weeks here, the whole EP will come out on Spotify.
Damn girl,
So-
Boo Boo, you worth it.
you are. Worth
I
it.
know, but
You worth it.
She's
Make
bushy.
sure, make sure you go follow Gabby Chaos on Instagram and on Facebook. Also check out her singles on Spotify. So on that note, this is your host Drea Doll signing off with my lovely ladies, reminding you to keep your eyes on the prize and always do your best. Thank you and good night.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.